Live on a Friday night at Utah Grizzlies hockey, as it's the first of two straight in Boise and the first of three straight meetings between the Grizzlies and the Idaho Steelheads. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. Guy and I are hanging out here in the lobby at Maverick Center as the Grizzlies are in Boise to take on the Steelheads. The Grizzlies are wearing a third jersey, but it's different from the jersey that they wore in Rapid City. It's a different alternate jersey that's kind of have a Colorado Avalanche theme to it. And for the Grizzlies, they'd like to play like the defending Stanley Cup champs here tonight, as the Grizzlies really have had a tough time against the Steelheads this season. They are 2-10 against Idaho. But remember, both of the Grizzlies' wins this season against Idaho have come in Idaho Central Arena. You think about the Steelheads and their home record, it's 13-2 this season. Both losses have come to the hands of the Grizzlies. And I think back to the game on December 3rd, where Utah won 4-2 and Garrett Metcalf stopped 44 of 46. Well, Metcalf will be the starting goaltender tonight. He'll be going up against Adam Shield. And we'll see what Garrett's able to do, as he's got a record of 6-1 this season. The league added an assist to Cameron Wright for the game-tying goal that gave the Grizzlies a standing point. That was the goal scored by Tyson Pfizer with 1:12 left in regulation, as Utah took 3 out of 6 standings points against the Rapid City Rush. That means that Wright now is tied for the team lead with 24 points this season. He's tied with Andrew Nilsson. Wright leads all Grizzlies forwards with 7 goals and 16 assists this season. So it should be a lot of fun here, as the Grizzlies went 1-1 last week against Rapid City, and they're taking on the Steelheads here this evening. When we come back to the Utah Grizzlies pregame report, we'll talk with Guy Chiarenza and get his thoughts on things. This is the Utah Grizzlies pregame show presented by America First Credit Union. Welcome back to the Grizzlies pregame report. Tyson Whiting here with Guy Chiarenza. The pregame report is brought to you by America First Credit Union. And Guy, I think back to the Rapid City series. Saturday is one of the crazier finishes you'll see. The Grizzlies ended up losing 3-2 in overtime, but they did get a standing point as Tyson Pfizer got the game-tying goal with 1:12 left in regulation. Overall, it was a decent week for the Grizzlies, and they hope to build on that here this weekend against a good Idaho team.
Yeah, Tyson, I think there was a lot to build upon in that game against the Rapid City. They played really well throughout that entire series, and I think the biggest takeaway from those 3 games was the special teams were fantastic. The Grizzlies played really well in the special teams game, and it kept them in every single game in almost all 3 of those games. I mean, the first one, you can argue that one kind of got away from them in the third period, but in every single game in the series, the special teams kept them in it.
Well, I think about that Rapid City series last weekend. The Grizzlies were 5 for 12 on the power play, and the penalty kill over the last 4 games is 15 for 16. So the Grizzlies special teams have been good, and they're going to need to be good against Idaho, who this season is 4th in the league on the power play at 25%, and they also have the top-ranked penalty kill unit in the league.
Yeah, Tyson, this is a high-octane Idaho Steelheads team. I mean, they fire on all cylinders. They seem to be clicking, and they play really good hockey. They play a high-speed style of hockey that most teams seem to not be able to solve. But the one team that has been able to solve the Steelheads in their own building, Idaho Central Arena, it's the Grizzlies, and only the Grizzlies.
Dilton Fitz really been outstanding. He's got 3 goals in his last 2 games, and Cameron Wright's really been outstanding. He had 5 points in the Rapid City series.
Yeah, Tyson, Dylan Fitz has just been on another level recently, and I think that bump up to that second line has really benefited him greatly. He's been a whole different player ever since he's found chemistry on that line. So watch for him to be a guy that could be a big impact player in this game.
Got a good goaltending matchup. Adam Shield going for Idaho. He's got a record of 10-2 this season with 1 shutout and a .931 save percentage. And for the Grizzlies, Garrett Metcalf, all he does is win, as he is 6-1 this season.
Garrett Metcalf, the man's a winner, and I like Garrett Metcalf in net here tonight against the Steelheads. And don't forget, there was a time earlier on in the season that Garrett Metcalf came into Idaho Central Arena, and he came out with a win.
That was on December 3rd. The Grizzlies got a victory. 4-2 is the final score there, and the Grizzlies are going to need a similar type effort. And you think back to that December 3rd game, the Grizzlies were 2 for 5 on the power play and 6 for 7 on the penalty kill. So you think about the 2 power play goals they had that night, and the Grizzlies had 2 power play goals in each of the first 2 games against Rapid City, and obviously the game-tying goal was a power play tally with about 1 minute and 12 seconds left in regulation against Rapid City. Grizzlies are going to need that same type of output on the power play if they want to come away with 2 standings points.
Yeah, Tyson, I agree. It's going to have to be a full effort, a full, complete team effort. This is a Steelheads team that's at the top of the league right now. They're at the top of their game. If you're going to try and stop them, you're going to have to be on top of your game as well.
For the Grizzlies, it'll be interesting to see, really what Metcalf does. It'll also be interesting to see what Tyron Pfizer does for the Grizzlies. After all, he had that game-tying goal. And Pfizer's somebody, especially with Zach Sekos out of the lineup once again and Johnny Walker, Tyron Pfizer's going to need to come up big for Utah.
Yeah, Tyron Pfizer's going to have to play on another level. And I think another guy to look at is under the same theme is Dakota Raby. And I think we've seen Dakota Raby play very well against the Steelheads. So look for those 2 guys to make an impact. Those could be a good candidate for pick to click.
And Keaton Jamison has also had some success against the Steelheads in the past. But my pick to click tonight is going to be Victor Bartley. The veteran, 34 years old, has a lot of experience, a lot of seasoning. And I do think the Grizzlies are going to need to get something from their defensemen tonight. And so I think Victor Bartley is going to be a really key factor for the Grizzlies. He'll be lined up next to the captain, Connor McDonald. Who's your pick to click?
I'm going to go with Dakota Raby. Like I said before, he seems to play well against the Steelheads. He seems to take his game to the next level. And I think this is the night that we see Dakota Raby show why he's a big member of this Grizzlies team.
And I also got a feeling that James Scheer is going to come up big for the Grizzlies tonight. He'll be paired up with Andrew Nilsson. Nilsson, a little bit of news. He will not be going to the All-Star game on Monday. After all, the Grizzlies play on Monday against the Idaho Steelheads. You think about the Steelheads, best record in the league. They do not have a single representative going to the All-Star game, as goaltender Jake Kupski is currently in the AHL. Head coach Everett Sheen was going to go to he was selected to be the coach of the Western Conference, but he's not going to go because Idaho plays Utah at Mavericks Center on Monday, 3 o'clock faceoff. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. Cincinnati's Jason Payne will coach the Western Conference. But I think that if you think about Nilsson, being an all-star this year, but I think that Cameron Wright, really with how he's played over the last month, and it really started with a great game on December 21st against Idaho in the first of that 5-game set between the clubs where he had 1 goal and 1 assist. And Cameron Wright, it seems like ever since then, has been on a roll.
Yeah, Tyson, you want to talk about a guy that's really stepped up this season as a rookie? It's Cameron Wright, 7 goals, 17 assists. He's just playing on another level right now, and he's really been that offensive presence that the Grizzlies have needed so far. He takes a lot of shots, and really, it's just all around a great guy that the Grizzlies have needed on offense.
When we come back to the America First Credit Union pregame report, we'll give you the lineups for both teams. This is Utah Grizzlies hockey, presented by Rio Tinto.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. Starting lineup for both teams. We're not sure who it is just yet, but we do know the Grizzlies are going with 10 forwards and 7 defensemen tonight. They are led by second-year head coach and general manager Ryan Kanasowicz. His assistant is Jared Pike. The Grizzlies are 7-10-1 away from the friendly confines at Maverick Center. Starting in net is Garrett Metcalf, who's got a record of 6-1 this season with a 3.29 goals against average and 907 save percentage. 10 forwards for the Grizzlies this evening. We will watch out for Tyler Penner, who's making his, well, almost got to do the math. It's his 104th consecutive start or consecutive appearance for the Grizzlies. We're not sure if he's going to get the start for Utah, but he's been in every game since the opener of the 2021-2022 season. Penner will be lined up next to Dakota Raby, who's got 6 goals and 13 assists in 31 games, and Taryn Fizer, who has 9 goals and 6 assists. The 9 goals are tied for the club lead with Johnny Walker, who's currently a scratch, and he's been out the last handful of games. So we'll see Raby, Penner, and Fizer. We'll also see Cameron Wright, who's tied for the team lead with 24 points this season. Wright has 7 goals and 17 assists. Keaton Jamison has 7 goals and 5 assists. He was one of Utah's best players in the Rapid City series, as he had 4 points in 3 games last week. And Dylan Fitz has 3 goals in his last 2 games. So watch out for the forward line of Wright, Jamison, and Fitz. That's got a lot of potential. We'll also see the Rooster, Jordan Martell, in there. He's got 1 goal and 11 assists this season in 23 games overall. He started the year with the Fort Wayne Comets and was traded to the Grizzlies a little less than a month ago for Neil Robinson. We'll also see Cam Strong, who's got 3 goals in his last 6 games, and Vladislav Mikalchuk. Vladdy's got 1 goal and 4 assists, or he's got 3 goals and 1 assist in 25 games. We'll also see Christian Simeone, the Merrimack product, second-year pro. He's got 1 goal and 1 assist in 18 games. 7 defensemen for the Grizzlies tonight. Victor Bartley, who's my pick to click. Everybody make your pick to click on the live chat on YouTube. Bartley's got 1 goal and 6 assists this season. He'll be paired up next to the captain, Connor McDonald, who had 3 assists for the Grizzlies in their 6-4 victory against Rapid City on January 6th. We'll also see James Shearer in there. The former Brandon Wheat Kings captain has 4 assists in 13 games. We'll also see Andrew Nilsson, the All-Star. He won't be appearing in the All-Star game on Monday. He'll be playing for the Grizzlies against Idaho. That's the next home game for Utah, and he'll be wearing number 44. Aaron Tho's wearing number 28. He's got 1 goal and 4 assists in 26 games. Corey Thomas, a former Idaho Steelhead. He's looking for his first goal of the season. He's got 2 assists in 20 games. Hey, Tim Broussard's here and hanging out at Maverick Center taking photos of the gymnastics meet. And Kyle Pouncey, 5 assists in 26 games. So 7 defensemen for the Grizzlies tonight. Bartley, McDonald, Shearer, Nilsson, Tho, Thomas, and Kyle Pouncey. Metcalf is starting in net. His backup is Trent Miner. Let's see if we can find the starters for the Idaho Steelheads. They are led by Everett Sheen, the 3rd year that he's been with Idaho. They missed the playoffs last year, but they've got a record of 27-4-0-1 this season. We do know that the starting goaltender is going to be Adam Scheel, who's got a record of 10-2 with 1 shutout, a 2.01 goals against average, and 931 save percentage. Some guys to watch out for from the Idaho perspective. Justin Ducharme has 1 goal and 1 assist in 3 games. He was just recently sent to the Steelheads from the AHL's Texas Stars. Also watch out for Zane Franklin, who had a lot of success in late December against the Grizzlies. Normally he's wearing number 37, but tonight he's wearing number 21, as the Steelheads are wearing a specialty jersey, as it looks like it's pink in the rink over in Idaho, breast cancer night. And so Idaho's wearing that. The Grizzlies are actually wearing a jersey for the first time this evening. They're wearing a Colorado Avalanche style jersey, Utah horizontally across the front of the jersey, navy blue jersey with white on the shoulders, white lettering, white trim, and kind of avalanche red numbers in the back of the jersey. It's a sharp look, and the Grizzlies are wearing that for the first time tonight over against the Idaho Steelheads at Idaho Central Arena. Should be a good night for hockey, as the Grizzlies really need some victories here against Idaho. It's the 13th meeting against the Steelheads. You can think about seeing Idaho as much as they have been. In the first 31 games this season, the Grizzlies have faced Idaho 12 times. That's 38.7% of Utah's games this season that have been against Idaho. Now, you think about the 3-game set, which will be tonight and then Saturday night. Both teams will have Sunday off and travel to the Salt Lake Valley. And then the Grizzlies' next home game is going to be an interesting one. It's Sensory Friendly Day here at Maverick Center, and it's also Nickelodeon night, as the Grizzlies will be wearing SpongeBob SquarePants-themed jerseys. And think about after that 3-game set, you're talking about 15 of the 34 games being against Idaho. That's 44.1% of Utah's games that have been against Idaho. Now, when the Grizzlies have played somebody other than the Steelheads this year, their record is 10, 8, and 1. So the Grizzlies have seen a lot of the Idaho Steelheads so far this season, and it should be an interesting night as the Grizzlies have won at Idaho's building twice this season. And Guy Chiarenza, I think that if the Grizzlies want a victory tonight, regardless of what the shot count says, because you think about that December 3rd game, Idaho had 46 shots. So I'm not really looking for shots. I think that the Grizzlies are looking for scoring chances, grade A opportunities. I think the Grizzlies would like to limit Idaho's grade A chances here tonight.
Yeah, Tyson, and I think the old cliche is true. You just got to establish a good forecheck right off the bat. I mean, you can't let the Steelheads go out there and dominate the game from the start. You have to impose your will to start the game. And I think along with that, I think you have to make life tough for the Steelheads. I think you got to limit their chances going through the neutral zone. Make their zone entries really tough going across the blue line into the Grizzlies zone. It's going to be the little things in this game, I think, for the Grizzlies. And if they can perfect that, if they can win races to the puck, win those battles along the boards, establish a good forecheck, and I think they have a good chance to win.
I think you mentioned the battles on the boards. That's going to be critical for the Grizzlies. Can they win those 50-50 pucks? Because Idaho, that's one of the things that they're great at, is puck possession and winning those battles. And so for the Grizzlies, winning those battles along the boards and really, winning your fair share of faceoffs and establishing something, I think that's going to be critical in tonight's game.
Yeah, you talk about faceoffs, but the key word here is possession. And you said it earlier, and I'll echo that. I'll be a broken record. I think possession is the big key here. Is in the recent games where we've seen the Grizzlies play the Steelheads like to possess the puck. And in turn, you see the Steelheads take a lot of shots. They get a lot of shots on the board, but the Grizzlies don't have a lot of shots because they're not possessing the puck. So as you said before, the faceoffs are going to be key. Is you win those faceoffs, you get possession, and in turn, you take shots. So possession is going to be a big part in who wins this game.
When we come back in 2 minutes, we'll have face-off over at Idaho Central Arena. This has been the America First Credit Union pregame show on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps.
Expectations here will always remain high, and we'll continue to find a way.
Guys put together a lot of good games, you know.
The Great night for hockey as two big standings points are on the line as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads in the first of 3 straight meetings between the clubs. I'm Tyson Whiting. Guy Chiarenza also here hanging out in the lobby at Maverick Center. The Grizzlies have Garrett Metcalf starting in net. The starting defensive pairing is James Shearer and Andrew Nilsson. Starting forwards are Keaton Jamison, Dylan Fitz, and Cameron Wright. And that's a pretty strong forward line. And that's the forward line that really got the Grizzlies on the right track against Rapid City, where they picked up 3 out of 6 standings points. You think about the game on Friday, January 6th, which was 7 days ago. Dylan Fitz and Cameron Wright each had 2 goals. But you also think about Keaton Jamison, who has 4 points in his last 3 games. Cameron Wright has 5 points in his last 3 games. Starting in net for the Idaho Steelheads is Adam Shield. The starting defensive pairing is Matt Register, who's a plus 41 this season in 32 games. And he'll be paired up with Cody Haskinen, who's a plus 27 in 21 games. Starting forwards, Wade Murphy has 6 goals and 12 assists in 21 games. A.J. White, their captain, who played with the Grizzlies 2 years ago, he's got 8 goals and 15 assists in 32 games. And Jordan Kawaguchi, who was outstanding towards the end of the 2022 calendar year. He was great at Maverick Center, scored 5 goals in his last 3 games against Utah. He's got 17 goals and 10 assists this year. But also watch out for Ryan Domowski, as the Mouse is in the house with 16 goals and 22 assists in 32 games this season. Should be interesting to see what the Grizzlies are able to do here in the first period, because after all, you want to play with the lead against a tough Idaho team, especially in their arena. And with Garrett Metcalf in net, he's had a lot of success against Idaho in the past, and he's also 6-1 this season. Idaho's wearing a specialty jersey for Breast Cancer Awareness Night, as it's a kind of cream jersey with a bit of pink mixed in. Grizzlies, for the first time ever, are wearing their Colorado Avalanche theme alternate jerseys, a navy blue top with white on the shoulders, white trim, white lettering in the back, and Avalanche red burgundy type of numbers in the back of the jerseys. Referee tonight is Dominic Cadieu. The linesmen are Scott DeBaugh and Jared Thomas. Grizzlies will be in Idaho today and tomorrow, and then both teams will head to the Salt Lake Valley and meet on Martin Luther King Day. That's going to be a special 3:10 start, the annual Martin Luther King Day game for the Grizzlies, as ever since I can remember, the Grizzlies have played on that day. Garrett Metcalf is making his 8th appearance this season. He's got a goals against average of 3.29 and a .907 save percentage. They got Trent Miner's stats listed on the graphic there, but it is Garrett Metcalf, who is 6-1 this season. He's 6'4" and 190 pounds. He's wearing number 39. He'll be going up against Adam Shield, who's got a record of 10-2 this season with a .931 save percentage. In fact, the Steelheads team save percentage this season is .934. It's a very sharp-looking jersey night, both from the Steelheads and the Grizzlies. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun over in Boise, an arena that holds just under 5,300, and I imagine just about every seat is filled for the first of this 2-game set in Boise. Puck is dropped at center ice, and we're underway as Idaho will throw it back into their own zone as Matt Register chases after it. Terran Pfizer gets hit. The puck glides along the boards. It's over to the left side as Cameron Wright chases over there. Dylan Fitz in the area, but Idaho has the puck skating from right to left as we see it on Flow Sports. Your mind's eye, see it on YouTube. Idaho skates in, right wing shot, saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes out to the left side as Idaho in the offensive zone. Kawaguchi gets tripped up, no call. Puck squirts towards the near circle, taken by Dylan Fitz. He'll feed it across the right, who crosses center ice. Now he skates over the line. Right wing shot, kick saved by Shield. Puck in play towards the far side as Idaho pitches it out to center ice. Kawaguchi skates in. He gets it poked away. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the first period as they make their first line change of the game about 50 seconds in. As the Grizzlies in their own zone will throw it towards center ice. Utah crosses center and drives it around the boards. As it goes towards the near side, it glanced off the stick of Justin Ducharme, normally wearing number 11, but he's wearing number 10 in the specialty jersey. Idaho ahead looking for Ducharme. Pass incomplete, and icing is on the Steelheads. 18:57 left in the first. We're just underway, so sit back, relax, and enjoy, as looks like we got a good one here tonight. Draw is going to be towards Adam Shield. Grizzlies are 2-10 against Idaho this year, as it'll be interesting to see if the Grizzlies can get on the board first here in the first of 2 straight in Boise and the first of 3 straight between the clubs. Draw at center on the right wing as Penner will take it for Utah, but it's Idaho that wins the draw as the Steelheads will get hit at neutral ice near the Idaho bench. Now it goes back to Utah. Dakota Raby skates towards his left. He'll drop it off for Bartley in the Grizzlies zone. Bartley goes D to McDonald. Now ahead to Raby, who crosses center ice. Raby will chip it off the near boards, but gets cut off by Pfizer as Idaho takes it away as Ryan Domowski will chip it ahead to Ducharme. Goes back towards the far side. Grizzlies feed it back to neutral ice, where it's Idaho that has it about a minute and a half in as the Steelheads to the left side get it back to Ducharme near the Grizzlies bench. Now they'll tap it back as Utah takes the puck as the Grizzlies make a line change to their own zone. As the Grizzlies get to neutral ice and they feed a pass to McCallchuck, it glances off of his stick and it goes back to Idaho as the Steelheads in their own zone will spread the ice. They'll chip it to center ice as Idaho will dump it in as they chase after it, but the arm is raised and it looks like icing is called on Idaho with 18:03 left in the first. So kind of a clunky start for both teams as both trying to establish something offensively, as Idaho's already been called for icing a couple times here in the first couple minutes. Utah is without Zach Sekos once again. He is battling an injury, and he is out of the lineup due to that injury. Johnny Walker also out due to an injury. Bryson Martin is close to coming back. He did practice this week, but he is out of the lineup. Grizzlies are also without Joey Kolatarski and Jordan Stone. As Idaho wins the draw, they're in their own zone as they'll carry it out towards center ice. They hide behind the score bug, cross center ice, and dump it in. Actually, it was a graphic and not the score bug as Grizzlies in their own zone will toss it ahead. As Utah's Vladislav Mikhalchuk will throw it towards the right wing, cross center ice, and dump it in as Idaho chases after as the Steelheads Casey Johnson, normally number 13, but he's wearing 14 tonight. Mikhalchuk battles in the far corner, but Idaho will ricochet off the boards. It goes to center ice. Utah picks it up as Bartley will skate back into his own zone. Now the whistle blows as something happened away from the whistle 2.5 minutes in. 17:29 left in the first as the draw is going to be at neutral ice. As the Grizzlies continue to battle, Nick Canati bounced it off the boards, and then the Grizzlies had it in their own zone. I really have no clue why the whistle blew. As the draw is going to be in Steelheads territory, Idaho wins the draw. They'll bounce it off the far boards. Idaho will skate back in. Justin Misiak will skate to the far corner. He avoids a check. Misiak skates down the goal line. Wraparound shot kick saved by Metcalf. Grizzlies come back the other way. 2-on-3, they cross center. Grizz dumping in onto Shield as he tried to nudge it ahead as the whistle was late in blowing. Actually, the whistle never blew as it goes out to center ice. Grizzlies will kick it off the Kawaguchi skate as it goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. Utah chases after it. This is along the far side. Idaho delivers a hit, but the Grizzlies move it ahead. Grizz out to center ice. Connor McDonald will ricochet it off the boards, and the Grizzlies are able to successfully dump it in as Utah makes a line change just about 3 minutes into the game as Idaho will throw a lefty pass out to neutral ice. It kicks off the Grizzlies skate, and Penner feeds it to neutral ice for Pfizer, and the pass to Penner goes between his legs, and it goes back to Matt Register. Register back in his own zone will go D to D with Haskinen as the Steelheads skate from right to left. They throw a blue line to blue line pass, and it looks like it got redirected on the way. No icing, says Scott DeBaugh, the linesman, as the Grizzlies throw the puck deep in the Steelhead zone. That didn't get redirected or deflected, so icing is on the Grizzlies with 16 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first. Draw is going to come back towards Garrett Metcalf. It looks like both teams, and it's kind of odd considering that it's the 13th meeting between these clubs, but it almost feels like there's a little bit of a feeling out process between the clubs. Just both teams trying to establish something, and both teams very familiar with each other. Draw is won by the Steelheads as Patrick Kudla drops it off for Wade Murphy. He'll get it across as Owen Hedrick takes a shot, and it goes wide as he tried to go stick side on Metcalf. Kudla spins it around the boards. Utah in the far corner tries to move it ahead. It glanced off a Steelhead. Now Utah gets it back as the Grizz connect on a pass. Now they feed it to center ice. Utah crosses center. Fitz dumps it in as Utah chases after it on the right side as Jamison will throw it across ice to Shear. He takes a lefty shot, saved by Shear. Rebound goes out to the right corner. Utah spins it back towards Shear. Shear avoids a check. Now Utah tries to feed it towards the net, and they throw it to the right corner as the Grizzlies will chip it to the corner. Penner spins it around as it goes back towards the far side. Utah collides with Idaho in the corner. The Steelheads now have control of the puck as Nick Canati loses it behind the net. Grizzlies chipping out in front. Utah with a shot, saved by Shield. Rebound goes out to the left side as Idaho along the far side will carry it out to neutral ice. Utah drags him around. No call on the play. Grizzlies have the puck about 5 minutes in as Andrew Nilsson skates down the middle as he'll feed it from blue line to blue line. It doesn't connect as it glanced off a Grizzly, and Michalchuk loses it. Idaho feeds it ahead to Domowski. One-time tap pass over towards Jade Miller, who's been a hot steelhead as of late, and he'll dump it to the far corner. Grizzlies cross center ice, 2-on-1. Grizzlies look to center. Lefty shot, saved by Shield. And the puck goes behind or towards the end wall. Grizzlies spin it back to McDonald. He'll skate towards his left. He'll take a shot and is blocked by Domowski. It goes out to neutral ice. Victor Bartley will move it ahead. Idaho picks it off as the Steelheads skate over the line. Jade Miller skates towards the near goal line. Shot saved by Metcalf. Miller gets his own rebound, throws it up top for Hedrick. Bounces off of his stick. Utah comes back the other way. Michalchuk crosses center and dumps it in. Grizzlies make a line change as Cameron Wright now out there with Fitz and Jamison as the Steelheads have the puck skating from right to left. About 14 minutes, 20 seconds and counting left in the first. Still no scores. Idaho gains center ice. And Haskinen dumps it in. Grizzlies along the near wall as Dylan Fitz will feed it out to the left side. It bounced off a Steelhead skate. Idaho chips over towards the corner, and it's Willie Niram, number 29. Now it goes out to the left point. Lefty shot by Misiak goes wide. Puck towards the far boards as Idaho kicks it to the right side. Centering pass shot goes wide. That shot was taken by Domowski. Now register from the left point will bounce it off a Grizzly as it goes deep into the Steelhead zone. Haskinen chases after it. He'll whip it around the boards towards the far side. Now it's into the Grizzlies zone as Idaho skates towards the near boards. As Idaho will feed it off the near wall. Register will get it to the corner for Haskinen, or make that Kawaguchi. He'll take a shot saved by Metcalf. Goes back to Kawaguchi. Now it's the right side as Idaho's register over to Hedrick. One-timer kick saved by Metcalf. Idaho gets the rebound to the near side as the Steelheads get pinned towards the boards. Utah trying to hack it towards the blue line. Now Idaho gets to the corner, centering pass, shot and a score. Well, the puck was battling along the boards. It fed to the corner, and looks like Idaho got Patrick Cudla out in front. He accepted the pass from Jack Becker, and Patrick Cudla has given Idaho a 1-0 lead as he has scored his 6th of the season. Patrick Cudla high-fives everybody on the Steelheads bench. As you talk about those one-on-one battles, even two-on-two battles along the boards, Idaho was able to kick it towards the corner. And, you just think about what Idaho was able to do is they throw the fish on the ice, and it's going to be picked up as Idaho scores first. The puck was in the corner. Niram fed it to the corner, and then from the corner, they got it to Patrick Cudla in the slot, and Cudla was able to put it away. Cudla was all alone, and he just kind of went at top shelf on Metcalf over his right shoulder. So the Steelheads take a 1-0 lead about 7 minutes in. They pick up the fish and skate it off the ice. As it is Friday the 13th, and obviously some odd things could happen here on Friday the 13th, but Idaho, with 13 minutes, 18 seconds left in the first, has scored first. Draws at center ice is Idaho in their specialty jersey. And it's won by the Steelheads and A.J. White. As they get it to Cudla, the goal scorer, and he'll fire it from center ice deep into the Grizzlies zone. Utah spins it towards the far side. Idaho keeps it in. Right point shot goes wide. Grizzlies skate towards the near boards. Taryn Pfizer gets it out towards the line as Idaho keeps it in. A.J. White skates towards the left circle. I look to center it out in front to Kawaguchi, and the pass is wide. Out to the right point. Hedrick across to Cudla. He feeds the middles. It bounced off the Steelhead skate. Goes back over to A.J. White. The Steelheads captain, left point, gets it across the right circle. Idaho whips it back around the boards to White in the near side. He'll skate towards the corner. Now chip it up top for Murphy. Across to the right circle. Shot goes. Idaho scored. Well, the Steelheads fired into traffic from the right circle and find a way to get in the back of the net. It looks like A.J. White redirected the shot and put it away as the Steelheads have taken a 2-0 lead. So Idaho scores 2 goals in less than a minute as Murphy got it to the right side for Hedrick. He took a shot that bounced off of Metcalf, and White got the rebound and put it away. So just one of those where Metcalf had it kick off his ankle, off his pad, about ankle high, and it just got to A.J. White, who got the rebound out in front and was able to put it away. So just like that, the Steelheads have taken a 2-0 lead. The Grizzlies win the draw 7.5 minutes in. Grizz skate from left to right as they cross center. Utah dumps it in as Jordan Martell will skate after it. Martell with good speed, but Idaho has the puck as the Steelheads will throw it out to center ice, and it's taken by Ducharme. He'll skate towards the left circle, stop just before he gets to the corner. Now he skates towards his right. Ducharme being battled over to the right circle, backhand shot, and it goes wide. Grizzlies get the rebound off the boards. Utah will backhand it over the head of Nick Canati, but it's going to be icing as the Grizzlies did all that from their territory. 12:03 left in the first period as Idaho leads 2-0 as Cutlass scored the first goal, and A.J. White on a rebound gets his 9th of the season to make it 2-0. Draw is going to be deep in the Grizzly zone in the left circle as Utah wearing a jersey they've never worn before. Colorado Eagles or Colorado Avalanche theme as the Steelheads win the draw. Over in the right point, they skate towards the right circle. Now the puck is in the corner as Utah holds by as Idaho, 2-on-2 battle in the corner. Idaho trying to come out of the corner with the puck, but Utah keeps it in. They spin it along the far boards. Idaho chips it back towards the corner that was vacated. Now Utah gets the puck. Grizzlies 3-on-4. McCallchuk to the right side, steps over the offensive line. Right wing shot, stick saved by Shield. Rebound goes towards the end boards. Idaho gets it, and they carry it out towards center ice. Idaho feeds the center ice logo. Now the Steelheads get in. Right wing pass. Now centering look goes wide as they're looking for Casey Johnson cutting in front of the net. As the Grizzlies out towards neutral ice, lose the puck, and Idaho dumps it back in as both teams change up skaters. Just about 9 minutes into the game, Idaho leads 2-0. As the Grizzlies back behind their net will feed it over to the far corner. Now Utah skates around Metcalf, and they throw it to the near corner. Idaho pokes the puck away as Becker tries to feed the circle, and it's taken away as Utah will get it out to neutral ice. They ricochet off the far boards. Idaho gains the blue line and dumps it towards the right circle. Utah pokes it to the corner. Idaho gets the puck as they skate towards a point. Now just outside the circle. They try to feather it across. Utah picks it off. Grizzlies skate around the net now up for Dylan Fitz. Fitz 2-on-3 crosses center ice. He'll dump it into the left corner from the right wing as Utah chases after it. Idaho gets there first. Steelheads out to neutral ice, get the puck. As now they skate in, right side, 3-on-3. Idaho skates towards the far goal line. Now they try to feather it out in front, passes wide of the mark. Grizzlies come back the other way, 3-on-3. Utah gains the line, throws it to Shearer. And he's in the high slot, skates towards his right, takes a shot that goes wide. It's a puck's along the far boards. Utah gets up top to Shearer. He winds and fires, and it's blocked. Puck ends up in the right corner. Idaho gets it. Steelheads will carry it out to center ice. Kawaguchi gains center ice. He'll feed a right wing pass. Idaho skates towards the right circle. Shot saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes to Utah. Grizz throw it to the left wing at center ice. Grizz will dump it in as they make a change halfway through the first period. Idaho leads 2-0. Kawaguchi will get it out to the right wing. Now back towards Kawaguchi. Utah protects their blue line. Now Idaho will skate back in as Owen Hedrick will dump it back around the boards. Idaho chases after it. Wade Murphy tried to center but fanned on it. Now the Steelheads around Metcalf's net. They skate towards the far side. Utah holds their ground as Idaho back up top for Canati. He'll get it to the high slot. Now back to Canati. Left wing shot goes wide, and it bounces off the glass. Grizzlies will chip it ahead to Raby. The pass goes past Raby. He chases after it. Canati gets there first. Canati's got about as much speed as Raby does. Pass ahead. It bounced off the Steelhead stick at center ice. Now the Grizzlies skate towards the middle. Raby veers off to the left. I looked to center it out in front, but the pass was wide as Utah, as Justin Ducharme, as Nilsson pokes it away. Now it goes to neutral ice. Wade Murphy has it glance off his stick, but Murphy's able to dive before Pfizer got the puck as Idaho bounces off the near boards. It's taken back by Utah as Nilsson in the area in his own circle. As he'll feed it as the Grizzlies still in their own zone. They get it out to neutral ice as Raby gets blasted and gets divorced in the puck. Idaho gets it as they'll throw it back to Hedrick. Hedrick crosses center ice. Now he veers it over towards right. Kicks back to Hedrick on the far side as he'll gain the offensive line, and he'll roll it around the boards. This goes back to the left side. Utah gets it. Grizz will carry it out to center ice. They left wing gain the line. Grizzlies skate in. Martell will skate around the net. Still has the puck. Martell gets blasted along the near side, and he's slow to get up. And now Utah wants to go after. Connor McDonald wants to go after Idaho. Now it looks like we got a fight. As Connor McDonald fights Colton Keller. Keller delivers two lefts. Now third left, and he drags down Connor McDonald. As looked like there was a big-time hit along the near side. Martell got blasted, and then Connor McDonald took offense, went after Colton Keller, and they dropped the gloves at the Idaho blue line. Keller connected on three strong lefts and then dragged down McDonald. 8:17 left in the first period. Idaho leads 2-0 as Keller and McDonald are going to serve 5 minutes for fighting. We're back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Idaho leads 2-0 as we're a little more than halfway through the first period, as Jordan Martell got blasted, and then Connor McDonald skated over to confront Colton Keller. Both guys got in a fight. Keller connected on 3 punches, but McDonald was able to drag down Keller near the Idaho bench. Idaho got 2 goals in just under a minute, as Patrick Cudless scored 6:42 in, his 6th of the season. Jack Becker and Willie Niram with the assist, and then A.J. White got a rebound on a shot from the right side as Hedrick took the shot. White got the rebound and scored his 9th of the year. Time of that goal, 7:26 in. Looks like Idaho's on the power play for 2 minutes as Connor McDonald is in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. Idaho wins the draw as Matt Register skates towards his right. He'll take a lefty shot, saved by Metcalf. Rebound squirts towards the far side, or towards the end wall, as Idaho skates towards the far corner, as Idaho skates from right to left here in the first period. Still has to get it to Kawaguchi on the left side. Now I'll throw it up top for Register. Register skates towards his right. He'll get it to the far goal line. Now back up top for Register. He'll fake a shot. Now he'll throw it towards the right corner. A.J. White had to redirect himself as the puck ends up towards the end wall, as Idaho will skate towards the near side, get it to Kawaguchi. Utah takes it away. Grizzlies skate towards the right side. They got a breakaway. Utah skates towards the right circle. Center is it towards Raby, but poking away is Patrick Cudla. It's puck deep in the Steelhead zone. Idaho gets the puck. As 1:15 is left in the Idaho power play, 7:30 and counting left in the first. Idaho's power play is tied for 3rd in the league at 25%. Grizzlies penalty kill 79.7% as Idaho in the high slot, gets to the right side. Righty shot, saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes towards the near corner. Idaho chases after it. And Utah gets the puck, and they'll chip it out to center ice. Idaho back at center. We'll dump it back to Patrick Cudless. The Steelheads make a line change. As Idaho crosses center ice, Cudless will drop it back off as the Steelheads will gain the line as they skate towards the left circle. Idaho drops it back off for Cudla. He'll feed it to the right side. Now back up top for Cudla. He'll chip it to the left circle. Now back to Cudla, who fakes a shot. He'll skeet towards the left circle. And he'll switch places with Franklin. Now Franklin gets it. Righty shot goes wide. Trying to go glove side on Metcalf and just missed. Ducharme throws to the far corner. Utah takes it away and clears it out. 20 seconds left in the Idaho power play. They lead 2-0. Outlet pass gains the Grizzlies line as Idaho skates towards the far circle. Utah pokes it back to center ice. The Grizz are able to successfully clear it. Less than 10 seconds left in the Idaho power play. As Cudla crosses center ice, he'll bounce it off the near boards. He'll get it back and dump it off the end wall as Grizzlies chase after it. Utah will poke it back to the far corner as the Grizz are back at even strength. Couldn't tell who was representing McDonald in the penalty box as he's also got the fighting major as Idaho crosses center and dumps it in. Grizz chase after it in their new jerseys as James Shearer will feed it around the boards. It goes to the far side. Grizzlies will tap it off the glass, and the puck bounces in the Idaho zone 2-on-2. Utah gets it left circle. Now the Grizz. Far side shot saved by Shield. Now it goes back to Idaho as the Steelheads will cross center ice. They'll dump it in. So they look for Misiak behind the Utah net as he gets pushed towards the corner. Idaho gathers it as Becker takes a shot and goes wide, and it rolls along the boards as Nick Canati skates towards the far corner. Now it chips towards Idaho. Michalchuk gets it out in front. Now he'll move it ahead for Raby. Raby gains the line and feeds to the left side. Grizzlies with a shot, and it's blocked. Puck goes back to Idaho as they'll carry it out towards neutral ice. Now Idaho crosses center as Jade Miller feeds it across. Now it goes to the near corner again as Idaho will throw it up top to the right side. Now it's a Register, as Register will take a lefty shot and it goes wide, as Metcalf might have gotten a piece of it. As Utah in the near corner gets hit, Grizz will roll it back around to the far side, as Utah will carry it out to center ice. Grizz will cross center and dump it in from the left wing. Shield raises his arm as if it were icing. It looks like the linesman might agree. 4:50 is left in the first. Idaho leads 2-0. We're back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Idaho leads 2-0 late in the first period. 4:50 is left as Patrick Cudless scored 6:42 in, and then less than a minute later, A.J. White got a rebound on an Owen Hedrick shot, 7:26 in. Idaho's 0 for 1 on the power play. Grizzlies yet to go on one. Connor McDonald got a cross-checking minor. McDonald and Colton Keller are still in the penalty box, serving 5-minute fighting majors. As the puck is in the Idaho zone, as the Steelheads wearing a specialty jersey, Grizzlies wearing a jersey for the first time ever. Idaho gains the offensive line, right wing. They skate towards the circle, lefty shot, and saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes out to the left side as Register pokes it back to the corner. Utah gets it and tries to chip it out. Now the Grizz to the right wing, connect on a pass. Utah gets blasted at the Idaho line, and it looks like somebody wants to go after Matt Register, but play goes on. Idaho gains the line. Utah pokes it away, and it goes out to center ice as Idaho regains the line, but the whistle blows. 4:13 is left in the first. As it looked like Matt Register delivered a big-time hit as Utah was trying to skate into the offensive zone. A big-time hit was at the blue line, and looked like somebody wanted to go after Matt Register. Unfortunately, the jerseys are a little bit tougher to spot on the video feed that I've got right here. So we'll try to identify players the best we can. As there's a little more than 4 minutes left in the first period, Idaho leads 2-0. Looks like Idaho has outshot Utah 7-6 here so far. We'll give you some scores from around the league. During the first intermission, we'll also talk with Guy Chiarenza, and we'll talk with Guy right here. As I think it's been one of those first periods, it's been pretty even outside of the 2 goals that Idaho scored there in the span of a minute. First Cudla and then A.J. White on a rebound.
Yeah, Tyson, it has been pretty even for the most part. But the problem is we talked about this in the open, it's just the little things. Those battles along the boards, those races to pucks. When the Steelheads win those battles, those races, they're taking opportunities, and we saw a couple goals off of it.
Shots have been pretty even so far, and I think for Utah, that forward line is the Fitz, Jamison, and Wright are going to be. That's been probably Utah's hottest forward line coming into play tonight, and I think they're going to have to play well here this evening.
Yeah, Tyson, that seems to be the impact line, and they have a lot of great chemistries together. Let's see if they can get something rolling here.
Neutral zone draw is won by the Grizzlies. Utah skates from left to right here in the first period as the Grizz cross center and dump it in. As Raby chases after it, as he collides with Patrick Cudlip. Owen Hedrick skates over there. 2-on-2 battle in the far corner. Grizzlies will throw it up top for sure. Fanned on the pass. He tried to get Nilsson. Now Ducharme will skate down the middle. He'll take a backhand shot and saved by Metcalf. Looked like for a second the goal light went off. Now right wing shot saved by Metcalf. As Garrett holds on, as Idaho looked like they had a one-on-one foot race. As looked like Nilsson was chasing after Idaho. And looked like a pretty good move was made by Justin Ducharme. Got around Nilsson, backhand shot, and Metcalf made the save. The goal light went off for about half a second, and then they fed the right circle for Domowski, and Metcalf was able to make that save as well. So great job by Garrett Metcalf, the best save he has made so far, as Idaho still leads 2-0. Grizzlies to the near side after winning the faceoff, lifts it high into the air, It looks like the puck bounced off the roof as they stopped play after the Grizzlies lifted it up in the air. Is it going to be delay of game? I think it is. Well, the Grizzlies gave a fan a souvenir, and let's see, is it going to be a penalty? It is. 2 minutes for delay of game as the Grizzlies gave a fan a souvenir from their own zone. So for the second time tonight, Idaho is going to be on the power play. 3 minutes, 40 seconds is left in the first period as the Steelheads have 2 goals in the span of a minute. Patrick Cudless, 6:42 in, and A.J. White, 7:26 in. Taking the face-off is Keaton Jamison against A.J. White for Idaho. Draw won by the Steelheads as Register to the far side gets to Kawaguchi. Now up top to the right wing as now they feed it up top to Register. Over to Kawaguchi on the left side. He gets to the near goal line. Idaho whips it across the right side. Righty shot, and it's blocked. Grizzlies will carry it out of the zone. 2-on-2. Grizzlies gain the line as Utah gets tripped up in the left circle, and the referee didn't spot it. Now the Grizzlies slot. Shot, and they score! Grizzlies get a shorty as they get on the board. It's a 2-1 game. And who's getting the goal? It's Tyler Penner. Penner gets his 7th of the year as the Grizzlies very aggressive, shorthanded. Skated in as Utah got tripped up in the left side. There was no call made. Shearer skated around the net, fed it out in front to Tyler Penner, who put it away. That's Utah's 3rd shorthanded goal this season. Penner gets the goal. James Shearer will get his 5th assist of the season. So Idaho still on the power play for the next minute 35, but the Grizzlies get on the board as the Iron Man, Tyler Penner, gets his 7th of the season as he gets a pat on the back from Grizzlies trainer Colin Lee. And Ryan Kanasowicz, talking with his unit, knows that that's huge to get on the board late in the first period. Draw at center ice is won by the Grizzlies. They're still shorthanded as Grizz will toss it out to the Steelhead zone. Idaho chases after it. They get the puck as Matt Register skates from right to left. He'll skate around Adam Shields' net as Register will skate north-south. Now feed a near side pass as the Idaho Steelheads cross center ice. Ducharme gains the line, gets over to Domowski, but the whistle blows as it appears Idaho is offside with 2 minutes, 55 seconds left in the first. The Penner gets the goal. James Shearer will get an assist. We'll see if they give an assist to somebody else as Utah got on the board shorthanded. As now we'll check that out a little bit later once it gets posted on the ECHL app with the box score. As the draw is going to be at neutral ice, 1:15 left in the Idaho power play. Utah wins the draw and clears it all the way out. As Idaho behind the net, Adam Shield will give way. It's the Steelheads will gain center ice as Patrick Cudless skates in to the left side. He'll stop and roll it around the boards and kind of rolls a little bit slowly towards the far side. Halfway through Idaho's power play, Utah clears it out. 2:30 is left in the first as Patrick Cudless skates to neutral ice. He crosses center. Now Cudless steps over the line, stops on the right side just outside the circle. He'll get it to the corner for Justin Ducharme, his 4th game with the Steelheads. He spent some time in the AHL earlier this year. Near side, Colton Keller, fresh out of the penalty box, will throw it to the near goal line. Idaho feeds it across, and it goes wide. Hedrick chases after it in the Steelhead zone. Less than 30 seconds left in the Idaho power play. 2:05 left in the first. The Grizzlies take it away from Hedrick. As Hedrick trips up Utah, no call. Idaho to the left side as A.J. White gains the line. Centering pass connects. Idaho skates in. Shot! Saved by Metcalf. What a stop by Garrett, and the Grizzlies clear it out. As Shield plays it behind his net. Big time save by Garrett Metcalf as Idaho had a centering pass go through. Still has cross center ice near side. They gained the line. Keller will drop it off for A.J. White. He's at neutral ice. White will chip it ahead as Utah's out of the penalty box as the Grizz get blasted behind their net. As it goes to the far corner, Hedrick chases after it. He feeds it out in front, and it's wide of A.J. White, who gets the puck. Wide around Utah's net, and they'll skate towards the far side. Now chip it up top to the right point. As Kanadi feeds it towards the left corner, it glanced off the stick and flies out of play. 1:20 is left in the first period. Utah gets on the board as Tyler Penner got his 7th of the season. Shorthanded with James Shearer getting the assist, and it's Shearer's 5th assist of the season. And really, if you think about the Grizzlies, 20 shorthanded goals last season, which led the league, and it's their 3rd shorthanded goal of the season. Right now, it looks like Shearer's the only one to get credited with an assist. We'll see if that changes as the Grizzlies win the draw in their own zone as they skate around Garrett Metcalf's net. His backup is Trent Miner as the Grizzlies feed it out to neutral ice. It's taken by Pfizer. Pfizer 2-on-3 will chip it across, passes behind the mark as the Grizzlies will dump it to the corner, and Utah chases after it behind Idaho's net as the Steelheads battle. Puck ends up squirting in front of Idaho's net. Steelheads throw a pass. It goes to neutral ice. Idaho crosses center and dump it in. Grizzlies got back defensively as Metcalf will spin it towards the far side. Less than 50 seconds left in the first period as Willie Nerum, right point, ships it towards the circle as Idaho feeds it back over towards Nerum, and Idaho still with it. The whistle blows, and it looks like it was a hand pass as Dakota Raby was in the area. Now it looks like a penalty is going to be called. High sticking. It looks like it's going to be the Steelheads that are going to be called as Dakota Raby was battling. And it looks like he drew a penalty. 2-minute call as Raby got hit with the high stick. Yes, he did. The referee was right there to make the call. So it looks like Jade Miller is in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. 2 minutes for high sticking, so the Grizzlies get on the power play for the first time tonight. Utah was 5 for 12 on the power play in the 3-game set against Rapid City. As the draw won by Utah, less than 40 seconds left in the first period. As puck squirts towards Shield, he'll feed it back to the near corner, and Idaho clears it out. Steelheads have the best power play in the league, or the best penalty kill in the league at 86.4%. Grizzlies power play, we mentioned how good it's been as of late. They've actually been pretty good on the road this season, 24.1% on the road as the Grizzlies skate towards the far corner, trip it across. Idaho picks it off. Register clears it out. As less than 10 seconds left in the period, Andrew Nilsson will feed it ahead. Grizzlies will re-enter the zone. They throw it to the left side as the Rooster skates towards his right. He'll take a righty shot, save. Rebound shot goes wide, and that will do it for the first period. As Idaho scored 2 goals in less than a minute, Patrick Kudla and A.J. White finding the back of the net, but the Grizzlies scored shorthanded as James Shearer skated around Idaho's net, fed it out in front to Tyler Penner, who was all alone, and Penner scored his 7th of the season. We'll go through all the stats, and we'll talk with Guy Chiarenza and get his thoughts on what he saw in the first 20 minutes, and we'll give you some scores from around the league. After 20 minutes of play, it's Idaho 2 and Utah 1. Siegfried and Jensen intermission report is up next on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Siegfried and Jensen intermission report here on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Idaho leads 2-1. They scored 2 goals in just about a span of about 40 seconds. They tell you not to do math on the air, so we're trying to figure out just how many seconds between goals for Idaho. Guy, get on that with the math there from Kudla and White's goals. As Patrick Kudla scored his 6th of the year, 6:42 in. Jack Becker and Willie Nerum with the assist. And then less than a minute later, 7:26 into the first, A.J. White with his 9th of the season. Owen Hedrick with the assist. It was Hedrick that took the shot. It bounced off of Metcalf's ankle. kind of about ankle high, and A.J. White was just right out in front to get the rebound and put it away. And the Grizzlies, I didn't think did a bad job of boxing him out, but A.J. White just happened to be in the right place at the right time. He's got a lot of experience, and, it's just one of those things. You got to find a way to root him out of the net. So at that point, Idaho led 2-0. Connor McDonald got in a fight with Colton Keller, 11:43 in, as Keller delivered a big-time hit on the right side. I actually don't know if it was Keller that delivered the hit on, I think, Jordan Martell. And then Connor McDonald took offense and ended up fighting Colton Keller, 11:43. And Keller connected on about 3 good lefts. Looked like he kind of hit the helmet of Connor McDonald more than McDonald's face. And then McDonald dragged Keller to the ice. And McDonald was also called for a cross-checking minor, so that gave Idaho their first power play of the game. Utah's penalty kill held strong. And then Dylan Fitz got a delay of game minor, 16:20 in. He gave a fan a souvenir. And looks like 25 seconds into the Steelheads power play, the Grizzlies got on the board as James Shearer was from the left side, skated behind the net, got it out in front to Tyler Penner, who scored his 7th of the season. James Shearer with his 5th assist, and this is 14th game of the year. And just like that, the Grizzlies had their 3rd shorthanded tally of the season to make it a 2-1 game. Jade Miller got called for a high sticking minor for Idaho, 19:20 in, as he hit Dakota Raby up high. And the Grizzlies will be on the power play for the first minute and 20 seconds of the second period. Idaho had 9 shots. The Grizzlies had 7. Doesn't look like there's a single Grizzly that had more than 1 shot in the first period. Pfizer, Shearer, Jamison, Wright, Penner, Simeone, and Michalchuk, each with 1 shot in the first period. For Idaho, they had 9 shots. Owen Hedrick had 2. Willie Niram had 2. A.J. White and Patrick Cudla among those with 1 shot, as both guys found the back of the net in the first period. Garrett Metcalf stopped 7 of 9, but he made a couple outstanding saves and a couple breakaways. Really wasn't necessarily breakaways. It was just Idaho had great looks out in front on centering passes. That one of them was a centering pass that connected, and then another was Idaho just kind of winning a foot race, getting around Andrew Nilsson, and really putting a grade A opportunity. But Garrett Metcalf made the save on both occasions to really keep the score in balance. It's Idaho leads 2-1, but the Grizzlies are certainly in this one. As we bring in Guy Chiarenza, and Guy, that shorthanded goal the Grizzlies scored late in the first period was certainly critical, and they needed that one.
Yeah, Tyson, that's huge. And I think when you think about that goal and how big it was, I think you can't forget this sequence of saves. There were 2 sequences that Garrett Metcalf made some huge saves that kept the Grizzlies in this game they kept it from being a 3-0 game instead of a 2-0 game. And so now here we are. It's not 3-0, it's 2-1 as the Grizzlies got the next one. Absolutely huge.
Connor McDonald got in a fight with Colton Keller after it looked like, I'm guessing, Jordan Martell got blasted on the near side and McDonald took offense.
Well, I like Connor McDonald standing up for his teammate. I mean, he's the captain. That's his job, right? And so you think about that fight. He takes a couple hits, but he gets a few good hits in of his own. And so good on the captain, Connor McDonald, for sticking up for his teammates.
I think these teams have seen each other so much that there is you think about a filling out process, but it seems like both teams know the strengths and weaknesses of each other so well. It's kind of tough for either team to really surprise them with really anything. And so I think that because of that, you're seeing pretty strong defensive plays from both teams because both teams are able to anticipate really well what the other team's doing.
Yeah, Tyson, I agree. I mean, you talked about a little bit of a feeling out process in the beginning, but I think you're right. We saw more of a defensive battle, if anything, as these two teams, they're very familiar with each other. I mean, they've played 12 times against each other this season. So it's no surprise. They come out, they know each other's tactics. They know what they're going to do. And you see a little bit of a defensive stalemate to start this game, but I really think this thing could open up in the second period.
Now, you brought a whiteboard with you, and for the Grizzlies goal, I think about James Shearer kind of making that play. And even though Penner gets credited with the goal, it's really Shearer that made it happen.
Yeah, so for the Grizzlies goal, what we're going to see is let me see if I can bring this up here.
Hey, camera's right over here. I mean, we might need to zoom in a little bit.
We might have to. Okay, there we go. So what we're going to see is we're going to see a zone entry from here for the Grizzlies. And what's going to happen is right here, a Grizzly's going to get tripped up. What happens is the puck is going to end up going back here behind the goal line. And I think this is going to be critical in this game if the Grizzlies want to win this game. And I'll talk about this in a second. The puck's going to end up back here. Then what we're going to see is we're going to see Shearer from back here swing the puck up into the slot. And this is where Penner is. Now, Penner's going to take the shot, and he's going to score. There's not many goalies in the league that'll stop a shot like that from point blank in the shot. And so, just like they drew it up, the Grizzlies are going to get a goal there. But I think that's the key here, is if the Grizzlies can get the puck down below the goal line and start making things happen from behind the net, maybe catch the goalie off guard, maybe catch the defense off guard, it's a perfect opportunity for the Grizzlies to get some goals.
Well, I think when you're going to score against Idaho, you think about the goals the Grizzlies have scored against Idaho, and that's in the sequence of games in late December. You think about how they scored that one. You got to get the puck. You're not going to score from the blue line much. Redirections maybe, but you're really going to have to do it from plays behind the net. Just getting a lot of bodies. Just driving the net. I think if the Grizzlies can find a way to drive the net, they can have some success against this Idaho team.
Yeah, I agree with that driving the net philosophy. I mean, if you can really just get pucks home, just really impose your will on the defense, kind of get them on their heels, and that starts with puck movement. You want to see the Grizzlies move the puck around in the Idaho zone, catch them off guard, and ideally take a shot and score. But as I said before, if you can get something down below the goal line where the goalie has a trouble seeing the puck and you figure there's a blind spot behind the net, Shield might not even see a play behind the net, and the Grizzlies come out, get into high slot, and score. That's what we saw on that shorthanded goal by Penner. So if the Grizzlies can continue to do that, that might be the weakness of the mighty Idaho Steelheads.
And think about the Grizzlies' penalty kill, perfect 2 for 2, and they scored the shorthanded goal. Utah only had the one power play, and really they only had 40 seconds of it. So the Grizzlies are going to be on the power play to start the second period. And I think for Utah, can they find a way to get in the offensive zone 1 and see if they can find a way to get a good look for Nielsen up top, who seems like he's due. Feels like Andrew Nielsen is due to something to do something big here in the second period. But I also look at the Rooster, Jordan Martell, who's gotten some looks on the power play.
Well, you mentioned Andrew Nielsen, and a lot of Andrew Nielsen's points have come on the power play. So for the Grizzlies to start on the power play to start this second period, this is a huge, huge opportunity for Andrew Nielsen to really get the engine going again. And I think if there's a guy that you look for on that power play who's going to be a big impact, as if the Grizzlies are going to try to tie this game, 2-2, it's Andrew Nielsen.
Nielsen could end up being a critical factor, critical player for the Grizzlies here in the final 2 periods of play. When we come back to the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report, we'll go over some scores from around the league and around the world of sports. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Back.
Welcome back to the Utah Grizzlies intermission report presented by Siegfried and Jensen, the law firm for accident victims. Other action in the league, second intermission. Allen and Wichita are tied at 3. The Grizzlies will see Allen quite a bit in the month of February. The Grizzlies only play 5 games against Wichita this season, but the Thunder are in second place in the Mountain Division standings. And we're keeping an eye on Allen as they're behind the Grizzlies in terms of point percentage, but both teams have 25 points this season. That score is tied at 3 after 2 periods. 15 minutes, 10 seconds left in the third. Rapid City leads Tulsa 2-1. Grizzlies will get very familiar with those teams over the next few weeks. The Grizzlies played Rapid City 3 times last week over at the Monument, and Utah ended up with a record of 1-1-1, picking up 3 out of 6 standings points. Next week, the Grizzlies will face the Tulsa Oilers over at BOK Center. Games next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, a 3-game set and a rematch of last season's Mountain Division playoffs. It was the first round matchup that the Grizzlies ended up winning 4-3. Utah's yet to face Idaho this season, but they'll face them 3 times in a 3-day stretch next weekend over at BOK Center. 16 minutes left in the third period. Kansas City leads Iowa 3-2. 2.5 minutes left in regulation. Cincinnati leads Indy 2-1. Games have gone final in the league. Fort Wayne defeats Wheeling 2-1. Maine over Norfolk 3-2. Norfolk will be represented heavily. In fact, their entire team is going to be in the ECHL All-Star game that's going to be held on Monday. In a shootout, Greenville defeats Florida 3-2. He did not play tonight, but I don't know if you saw the news, but former Grizzly Miles Gendron signed a contract with the Greenville Swamp Rabbits earlier today. So Gendron, who was with the Grizzlies each of the last 2 seasons, he was an assistant captain for the Grizzlies last year. He signed a contract with Greenville. He was playing in Norway earlier this season, but Miles Gendron returns to the league, and he signed with Greenville earlier today. In overtime, South Carolina defeats Savannah 4-3. That game finished in overtime. Orlando over Trois-Rivières 4-1. Reading defeats Adirondack 5-1. Toledo over Kalamazoo 4-2. Atlanta defeats Jacksonville 5-3. And in overtime, Newfoundland defeats Worcester 4-3. Some NHL action. We know that Saturdays are busy nights in the NHL. Let's see what's going on here on this Friday night. That is if my phone will load up. Actually, there it is. The phone loads up. There are only 3 games in the NHL tonight. One has already gone final. Winnipeg defeated Pittsburgh 4-1. The guy doesn't like seeing that. I think he's a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. At 8 o'clock, Devils are at the Ducks in a rematch of the 2003 Stanley Cup Finals. And at 8:30, Edmonton is at San Jose. And it's really been a struggle for the San Jose Sharks, who have a record of 13-22-8 on the season. Late in the second quarter, the Jazz lead the Magic 55-51. Guy, how about the Pittsburgh Penguins? They get a loss tonight, 4-1 to Winnipeg, but what do you think their chances are for the rest of the season?
It's tough. I think they've got good leadership, right? They've got a good core. They've got a good coach in Mike Sullivan. It's just a tale of 2 teams. Sometimes they're really good and they go on a good streak, and sometimes they're not so good like they are right now, and so they're kind of on a downswing. But I expect them to pick it back up, and they'll probably make a surge around February, March, somewhere around then.
When we come back to the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report, we'll have second period action. Remember, the Grizzlies are going to be on the power play the first minute and 20 seconds of the second period. This is the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Expectations here will always remain high, and we'll continue to find a way.
Guys put together a lot of good games, you know.
Welcome back to the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report, as the second period will begin here soon, as the Grizzlies are going to be on the power play for the first minute and 20 seconds of the second period, as Jade Miller got called for a high sticking minor, as Dakota Raby drew the penalty. Time of that penalty, 19:20 into the first period. And the Grizzlies have 4 home games coming up here later on in the month of January. Remember, this is the first of a 3-game set. The Grizzlies will be in Idaho tonight and tomorrow. Face-off both nights will be at 7:10. Sunday will be a travel day, as both teams will head here to the Salt Lake Valley. Next home game for the Grizzlies will be on Monday, January 16th. It's going to be Nickelodeon and Sensory Friendly Day. Come out and see the Grizzlies in their SpongeBob SquarePants themed jerseys, and the sound will also be turned down for Sensory Friendly Day. It's going to be a lot of fun. Nickelodeon, hockey, some sensory friendly stuff with the sound being turned down. It's going to be a great atmosphere at Maverick Center. You want to get your tickets at UtahGrizzlies.com. Then the Rapid City Rush are going to be in town for a 3-game set. Wednesday, January 25th is going to be a Bud Light College night with a 7:10 face-off. Friday is going to be an AFCU Friday where tickets start at just $8 when you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverick Center box office. And the ever-popular Guns N' Hoses night will be on Saturday, January 28th. Remember, there's going to be 2 charity games starting at 1 o'clock. I think the charity games are going to be at 1 and 2:30. And then the Grizzlies will take on Rapid City for a 7:10 face-off. And if you get a ticket for the Grizzlies game, that also includes the ticket for the Guns N' Hoses charity games. One starting at 1 o'clock and the other at 2:30. Make sure to get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. And it should be a great atmosphere as the Rapid City Rush will be in town for a 3-game set. Then the Grizzlies in the second half of the season will be at Maverick Center for the majority of the second half of the season. 22 of the last 36 games will be at home. Draws at center ice as we've begun play here in the second period. As Idaho in their specialty jersey, kind of a cream color with a lot of pink mixed in, pink numbers as they'll sail it all the way out towards Garrett Metcalf as Utah chasing after it in their own zone. Idaho behind the net loses the puck as Utah with it. Grizz are skating from right to left in the second period as they skate down the middle. Utah will drop it off as the Grizz out towards center ice. And now they enter the zone over to the left side and poked out towards the near side. Grizzlies in the corner will chip it ahead as Utah over on the left side gets up top for Nielsen in the left point. They'll feed it across. Taryn Pfizer will skate towards the circle. Now back it out. Still in the Idaho zone. Pfizer over to the left side. Martell one-timer, and it goes wide as Nielsen to the left side feeds it back towards the corner. Grizzlies around the net as they've got 25 seconds left in the power play. They get it up top for Pfizer. He'll dish it to Nielsen. Andrew on the right side will switch places with Pfizer as Nielsen will take a shot. Saved by Shield. As Andrew skated towards his left and fired away. Shield made the save. 18:55 is left in the second period as Idaho leads 2-1. 17 seconds left in the power play. Adam Shield adjusts his gloves and he'll skate towards the near corner as Owen Hedrick and Patrick Cudla communicate. It's kind of interesting to think about the goaltending tandem for Idaho. Remy Poirier's got a record of 11-1-1, and Adam Shield, the starter tonight, is 10-2. As the Grizz win the draw late in the power play, right side, they feed it up top to somebody who's hiding behind the graphic. Now to the right side, Grizzlies get it in the circle as Dakota Raby will skate towards his left. He'll feed it across to Pfizer. He'll take a righty shot, and it's blocked by Misiak, who gets the puck. Fans on clearing it out. As we're back to 5-on-5 skating. As Bartley gets over to the circle for Raby. He'll skate towards the near boards and feed it to the corner. As Utah gets hit, now the puck squirts towards Idaho's net. Steelheads pick it off. As the Steelheads throw a rink-wide pass that connects. Idaho to the left side will drop it off. Utah takes it away. Grizz out to neutral ice, get it, as Dylan Fitz will gain the offensive line, stop in the left point and dump it towards the corner. Aaron Tho is out there for Utah as the Steelheads have the puck as they'll carry it out to neutral ice. Idaho crosses center and dumps it in. Metcalf still in net. There's a big collision over to the right side as play starting to get physical action near the Idaho bench as Utah will chip it ahead. It bounced off the Steelhead. Now it goes to Idaho, carries it in. Ducharme skates towards the left circle. Now around the net, wraparound shot. Saved by Metcalf. And Garrett holds on. 17:46 left in the second period. Idaho still leads 2-1. Corey Thomas doing a good job protecting Utah's net. He is paired up tonight with Aaron Tho as Ducharme looking for the wraparound, and Corey Thomas doing a good job boxing out Ryan Domowski. And think about Thomas, I think he's most effective when he uses his size. He's 6'5" and 215 pounds. And because of that size, he can make a real impact on the Grizzlies. As the draw won by Utah, as the Grizz skate towards the near side, lifted out to the center ice. It's gloved by Idaho and dropped. Steelheads move it ahead as Idaho to the left side gets it to Cudla. One-timer saved by Metcalf. Grizzlies come back the other way as they cross center ice. Utah will feed it to the right side and overskate it. Domowski with it. He'll get it over to Colton Keller as the puck bounces off the boards. And it looks like the whistle blows. 17:24 left in the second. Cameron Wright pleads his case. He thought he was held up. As Wright talking with Scott DeBaugh, the linesman. Draw's going to be at neutral ice. I think Utah got called for offside. Domowski will take the face-off against Keaton Jamison. Steelheads lead 2-1. Tyler Penner got his 7th goal of the season late in the first period. As Utah wins the draw, Shearer from the left wing dumps it in. Now the Grizz in the right corner look to center it. Pass was behind, and Idaho comes back up with it. Zane Franklin will feed it ahead, deep into the Grizzly zone. Idaho chasing after it. No icing as the Steelheads get over to the far side. Now Utah gets it back. Grizz gain neutral ice. They try to get it across and goes over towards Utah's bench. Idaho will pick it up. Ducharme gets back checked and gets the puck taken away by Wright. Wright gains center ice, tries to dump it in, but it just got to the Idaho line where the Steelheads get it back. Kanadi back in his own zone will skate down the middle. Now Kanadi will feed a left wing pass into Grizzlies territory. Idaho dumps it in from neutral ice. As it bounces into the right corner, Utah gathers the puck. 3.5 minutes into the second period, Idaho leads 2-1. As Connor McDonald, the Grizzlies captain, will fake it to Pfizer. Pfizer had a glance off him. Turnover. Now in front, Kawaguchi shot. Saved by Metcalf. Kawaguchi gets the rebound to the right side. As he'll skate towards the corner. Gets around Raby. He'll take a lefty shot and it goes wide. And the puck ends up to the left point. Idaho keeps in the offense's zone. Pass the circle's picked off. Utah will nudge it ahead. It glanced off a skate. Now the Grizz get it to center ice. Raby gains the line. Loses the puck. Idaho gets it back. As the Steelheads we'll throw it to the right wing. Idaho skates in. Kawaguchi, right circle, veers off to his left. He's now in the left circle, and he'll kick it into traffic. Grizzlies will bounce it out to the far side. Utah will get it across center ice, left wing. Pfizer gets it poked away. As Penner at neutral ice will backhand it deep in the Steelhead zone. As it's taken by Cody Heiskanen, number 74, as he skates around Idaho's net. Now he's behind it. As the Steelhead skate from left to right here in the second period. Heiskanen surveys as people cutting around him. Heiskanen feeds to the far side, still in the Steelhead zone as Idaho will lift it out to center ice. It goes into the Grizzly zone where it's taken back by Utah. Pass ahead to center ice, connects, and dumping it in is Shearer, but it looks like the Grizzlies are called for offside. Actually, it was Cam Strong, number 26, who's out there with the Martell and Mikulchuk. So the whistle blows, 15:22 left in the second period. Looks like the Grizzlies are called offside. Strong will take the face-off. He's got a goal in 3 of his last 6 games. Jordan Martell in the left wing is the draw won by Utah. Martell skates towards the left circle as he stops near the corner, will bouncing off the boards. As Mikulchuk skates the right side, and he'll get it to Strong. He's in the right side as Strong goes down. In the area was Hedrick, no call. As Patrick Kudla battles with the Utah skater along the near side, Idaho takes it away. It's Idaho. We'll throw it out to the blue line. Now it goes to Kudla across the center, and he dumps it in. He chases after it as Willie Nerum chases as well. Puck squirts towards the right corner. Utah gets blasted in the corner as Idaho in the offensive zone gets taken away. Grizz will ricochet off the near boards. Now they feed it out to center ice. It's picked up by Idaho, who lifts it so high in the air it almost hits the roof. Grizzlies gloved on the near side, drop it, and they feed it out to center ice. Grizz cross center. They skate down the middle. Utah veers off to the right, drops it off. Right wing shot. Saved by Shield. I think that shot was taken by Mikulchuk, and it was 14:28 left in the second. Idaho leads 2-1, but the Grizzlies look like they're really doing their fair share in terms of puck possession. Grizzlies have really done a great job here in the second period. Neither team has scored a goal, but the Grizzlies look like they're playing good hockey right now, and that's certainly good to see because the Grizzlies really look like they got things rolling offensively against the Rapid City Rush. And obviously, it's tough to score goals against this Idaho team, but it looks like the process the Grizzlies are going through in order to score goals is certainly there at the moment. Draws in the right wing. Make sure to follow the Grizzlies on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok as Idaho wins the draw. Zane Franklin will carry it over the line, right wing. Franklin skates towards the right circle, surveys, and he looks to center it. Utah picks it off and will tap it off the near glass. As Keller will nudge it ahead, Utah picks it off. Grizz at neutral ice, fits over, skates it. And Idaho skates back in, but they're offside. And after the whistle, Casey Johnson gets pushed by Dylan Fitz. James Shearer over there as well. Johnson normally wears number 13, but today he's wearing number 14. There's actually 3 different Idaho players who are wearing different jersey numbers because of the specialty jerseys tonight. Justin Ducharme normally wears number 11, but he's wearing number 10. Casey Johnson is normally number 13, but he's number 14 tonight. And Zane Franklin normally wears number 37, but he is number 21 this evening. As the Grizz win the face-off, as James Shearer on the near side, he wears number 10. Earlier this season, he wore number 3. Nilsson back to Shearer. It bounces off of his stick near the Grizzlies bench. Shearer dumps it in as he regathers the puck as Idaho will lift it in the air and fanned on it. High slot Grizzlies get it. They'll skeet towards the right circle. Utah will take a shot. Saved by Shield. Rebound out in front. Idaho gets it. They'll lift it in the air, and it bounces near the Idaho blue line. Taken by the Steelheads as Domowski will cross center and dump it in. Idaho makes a full line change. The Grizzlies, deep in their own zone, have the puck. 6.5 minutes left, or 6.5 minutes into the second period. Idaho leads 2-1. As nobody has scored here so far in the second, Grizz will spin it along the near wall. Goes deep into the Steelhead zone as Shield gets it. No icing on the play. As Idaho skates from left to right. Matt Register behind the Steelheads net. Now skate north-south. He'll feed it to the far side as Idaho crosses center. Utah with a hit, and Idaho gets divorced in the puck. Grizz try to nudge it out towards neutral ice. Idaho will kick it deeper into Grizzlies territory over to the far corner as Idaho looks to center it. Puck stayed along the far boards. Grizzlies playing physical as they deliver a hit. Now they cross center and dump it in as Utah to the near side or the far corner. Pfizer gets hit. Idaho with the puck as it glides towards the right point. Utah gets it as Victor Bartley will bounce it off at Keller. It goes towards the middle. Idaho will glove it, drop it, and they'll carry it out of the zone as the Steelhead skeet towards the right circle. As A.J. White, backhand shot saved by Metcalf. The puck goes out to the high slot as Patrick Cutler will skeet towards his left, and he'll drive it around the boards. Kawaguchi on the right side skates towards the corner, gets around McDonald. Kawaguchi stops, looks to center it. It goes past Becker over to Cutler. Will take a shot, and it goes wide as the puck bounces off the Idaho stick on the rebound. It goes out to the near side. Penner trying to locate it. Becker will feed it to the right side for Kawaguchi. Centering pass doesn't connect as it goes to Cutler. Left wing shot. Saved by Metcalf. And Garrett holds on. 12:05 left in the second. It's the Steelheads 2 and the Grizzlies 1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Minutes and 5 seconds are left in the second period. Idaho still leads 2-1. Patrick Cutler scored 6:42 into the contest, and then less than a minute later, A.J. White scored 7:26 in. Tyler Penner scored a shorthanded tally, 16:45 into the first, with James Shearer getting the assist. In the second period, Idaho has outshot Utah 6-3. Steelheads for the night have outshot the Grizzlies 15-10. Idaho's 0-2 on the power play. Grizzlies are 0-1. As Utah wins the draw in their own zone, and they'll lift it into the Steelheads territory. As it goes back over, whistle is blown. Looks like we might have a penalty as there was some action near the Idaho blue line. Wade Murphy skates towards the bench. Looked like Hedrick was skating towards the penalty box. We'll see if there's a penalty either way. As looks like the Grizzlies are going to be on the power play. I think Owen Hedrick is in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. If you or someone you know been charged with a DUI, Rogers and Russell is Utah's DUI defense firm. Consequences for driving under the influence in Utah are serious, and you need great attorneys on your first line. Look for a letter in the mail from Rogers and Russell inviting you to schedule a free consultation. Don't throw away or disregard this letter. Call and get Utah's best DUI defense team, Rogers and Russell. Utah wins the draw. They try to get it out in front, and Idaho will poke it back towards the far side, but the Grizzlies have control of it. Utah on the far side will skate around Adam Shields' net. They'll feed it to the near side for Martell. Now up top for Nilsson. As he'll throw it behind his back for Pfizer. Swung and missed on a wrist shot. And Idaho will clear it out. Metcalf behind his net will give it over towards Andrew Nilsson, who flies along the left wing. Nilsson crosses center ice with good speed. He'll enter the zone. Nilsson skates over to the right side, gets hit with a high stick, and there's no call. Or it looks like play might have stopped. No, it's not stopped. Nilsson thinks he got hit with a high stick, but play looks like now it's stopped as Nilsson can't believe it. Nilsson holding his face, thinking he's drawn blood. As Nilsson entered the zone, And he got hit by a high stick by Jade Miller, and the referee is right there. I don't know why he didn't make the call. He's looking right at the play. I can't believe that. Nielsen can't believe it either. As it looked like play finally stopped. Nielsen trying to show blood. As Nielsen got hit with a high stick, it was very clear. Nielsen and the referee was looking right at it, and he didn't raise his arm. It's 2-1 Steelheads as Andrew Nielsen, considering the situation, and Nielsen is remaining very calm in the situation. I got to think at this point, the referee knows that he made a mistake, but it doesn't look like anything's made of it. There must have been something away from the play, away from the screen that we're watching, that drew the whistle. Utah's on the power play for the next minute, 18 seconds. 11 minutes, 13 seconds left in the second period, as we're about halfway through the scheduled 60 minutes. As Utah is still on the power play, Grizzlies think there should be a 5-on-3. And the thing is, it's one thing if the referee's out of position and doesn't see the high stick. Referee, when they showed the replay, was looking right at it. So it looks like the draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Nielsen was on the ice because, he got hit with the high stick and then he was down. And we're not sure why the whistle blew. Maybe because Nielsen was down for an extended period of time. So the draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Jade Miller is taking the face-off for Idaho. And I think a lot of Grizzlies fans probably think that Miller should be in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell, and the Grizzlies should have a 5-on-3 power play. Utah wins the draw as Andrew Nielsen skates around his net. Nielsen will drop it off as Grizzlies, about 11 minutes left in the second, will feed it out to center ice. Grizz from the right wing enter as they drop it back off for Nielsen. Andrew will skate towards his right, and puck guns up back to Nielsen. It goes past him and out to neutral ice. Nielsen gets the puck as he'll skate back into his own zone. He'll feed it to the far side. Grizzlies will nudge it to center ice. Now to the right. To the left side as the Grizzlies enter. They drop it off for Martell. The Rooster throws it up top for Pfizer in the high slot. Now to right, back to Pfizer. Pfizer will take a wrist shot, and it's blocked. Nielsen gets it in the right point as he'll throw it back to Pfizer, who's now on the far side. Pfizer nudges it back to the corner. Utah has a kick back towards the point, and Utah battling with Idaho. Steelheads get it and clear it out. Idaho will race off the ice to make a line change. 20 seconds left in Utah's power play. Grizzlies make a change of their own. As Aaron Tho gets the puck, as Nielsen will exit. Tho will skate down the middle. Now he'll veer off to the left. Tho crosses center ice down the middle. Now he skates towards his left. He'll gain the blue line and whip it around the boards. Right side, Grizzlies get it up top. Right wing shot, saved by Shield. Grizzlies over in the slot. Fitz with a shot. Saved by Shield. Might have gone wide, but Shield could have gotten a piece of it. As Idaho will whip it back towards the far side. We're back to 5-on-5 skating. As the Steelheads 2-on-4 gain the line. As Niram skates towards the left side. Takes a shot. Saved by Metcalf. Metcalf is down. Idaho with a shot. And that one goes wide. Metcalf gets back to his feet slowly. Puck still in play. Neutralized. Grizzlies step over the line and dump it to the corner. Idaho gets it back as the Steelheads to the far side. Will lift it out to center ice. Idaho carries it in. They skeet down the middle. Idaho looking for a centering pass. Shot! And the net gets kicked open. Goal light goes off as there's no goal. They're going to look it over. As the referee says, we're going to take an extra look at it. Idaho thinks it's a 3-1 game, and A.J. White argues his case as Idaho was to the right side, threw it over to the left as A.J. White high-fives everybody on the Steelheads bench. Metcalf slow to get back to his feet. As Idaho really good in the transition game. It was Ducharme over to A.J. White. He took the shot, and then the net just got kicked open. And Garrett being about 6'5", maybe 6'6", just kicked the net open. And I guess the question is whether the puck crossed the goal line before the net got kicked open. Looks like they're going to take an extra look at this one. Looked like the referee did not signal a goal, even though the goal light obviously went off. As well, it's hard to say. It's very close as to whether the puck crossed the goal line. As looked like the referee made a signal of no goal, and then he immediately pointed up, saying it's in God's hands now. Actually, they're going to go to video replay instead. So it looks like they're going to look it over again. I think they've counted it as a good goal. As the score bug now has it a 3-1 game. It would be A.J. White's second of the game and 10th of the season. Well, the Grizzlies just haven't caught a break tonight between the no call there on Andrew Nelson with a high stick, and then this one looks like it's a close call either way. Connor McDonald argues his case as it appears that it is a good goal, and Idaho leads 3-1. Well, can the Grizzlies catch a break tonight?
It seems like they can't, but the thing that's interesting to me on this play is he initially rules no goal. So that means that there must have been significant evidence for them to overturn that call and thus make it a 3-1 game. So you mentioned he puts it in God's hands, whoever's in the replay booth, and they look at it and they say, yeah, there's enough evidence to rule that that was a good goal. So interesting call there.
And Ryan Kanasowicz giving the referee a piece of his mind, and quite frankly, with the way the first half of this game has gone, I don't think you can blame Kanasowicz, especially with Utah kind of getting a tough whistle last Saturday against Rapid City. Now James Shearer is arguing with the referee, and you talk about between the high stick, and there's a couple other ones that I thought could have been called that weren't, and he's letting them play for the most part, but it's just the Grizzlies are kind of having a tough one as Metcalf is getting looked at by Colin Lee, the Grizzlies trainer. But it looks like Metcalf's going to stay in as he gets a glove from the equipment manager, Mason Whalen. It looks like Metcalf will stay in as he was shaken up just a little bit. As Idaho leads 3-1, 9 minutes and 17 seconds left in the second. It looks like we'll be back to live action as Everett Sheen, the Idaho coach, gets a word from the referee as A.J. White scores the second of the game. And it looks like Andrew Nelson is in the penalty box right now for Utah. So it looks like Idaho is going to be on the power play. As it doesn't look like they're on the power play, but Nilsson's in the penalty box. As Utah wins the draw and dumps it in, Christian Simeone in the near corner will spin it back around. Idaho gets it. As the Steelheads skate from left to right. They'll lift it in the air. Goes to Colton Keller. Right side will gain the line. Feeds it to the right circle. Idaho backhand shot goes wide. Grizzlies skate from right to left as Utah in the far corner will chip it ahead. Utah moves it out to neutralize as Simeone drops it off. Keller takes it away. Keller skates towards the left circle around a Grizzly. Backhand shot. Saved by Metcalf. Garrett holds on. 8:47 left in the second period. As the Steelheads lead the Grizzlies 3-1. Timeout on the ice. We're back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Idaho leads 3-1 as A.J. White scored his second of the game. Time of that goal, 10:43 in. Justin Ducharme with the assist. White is a +2, and so is Patrick Cudlip. Owen Hedrick is also a +2. For the Grizzlies, Tyler Penner scored his 7th of the season, 16:45 in. James Shearer with the assist. It was a shorthanded goal, and it's Utah's third shorthanded goal of the season. 8:47 left in the second. Idaho leads 3-1. They've outshot the Grizzlies 16-11. Idaho on the right wing after winning the faceoff as Hedrick will move it ahead. Now back over to the left side as Idaho gets over to Keller. One-time tap, and it goes wide. Metcalf might have gotten a piece of it. As it goes to the high slot, Hedrick will feed it to his left as Idaho will bounce it off the end wall, and it rolls back towards the near boards as Domowski gets over to the corner now up top for Hedrick. Across to Cudlip. Now Domowski gets to the corners. Idaho moves the puck so well. Idaho skates towards the left point, now towards their right. They feed it to the right point and exits the zone as Patrick Cudlip will skate back into his own zone. 8:05 and counting left in the second period. Utah takes the puck away deep in the Idaho zone as Utah will feed it across the boards. And now to the corner. Owen Hedrick collides with a Grizzlies skater. As action behind the Idaho goal line. Now the puck squirts towards the slot. And now right wing shot. A lot of traffic. And Shields able to cover up as the puck up bounced over to the right circle. And Utah fed it in as just kind of rolled over across a couple bodies. And Shield was able to cover up as it looked like Tyler Penner was battling for positioning right there with Owen Hedrick. So the Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. 7:49 left here in the second period. As the draw is going to be in the left circle. Face-off won by Idaho. As the Steelheads out to neutral ice. Cross center and dump it in. Kawaguchi chases after it. Utah on the far side gets it. As the Grizzlies get spun around, puck goes to center ice. Utah will nudge it to their left. Grizz look to center it, and the pass is wide of the mark. And it goes back towards the right side as Idaho will carry it out of the zone, 2-on-2. Idaho dumps it in as Grizzlies chase after it as Wade Murphy nearby. As it goes back to the far side. Now Murphy gets the puck. He's in the left point. He'll get it across to Heiskanen. He'll skate towards the right circle, takes a righty shot. On it goes wide as Heiskanen still looking for his first goal of the season. Idaho on the far side gets it back towards the goal line as Kawaguchi gets pinned towards the far corner. Utah one-on-one battle with Kawaguchi. Idaho will throw it back over to the left point as Register loses the line. He gets back to neutral ice, delayed offside. Grizzlies chase after it. As the puck glides along the end wall. Utah gets it in the near corner. Less than 7 minutes left in the second period. Idaho 3, Utah 1. Grizzlies move it ahead as they cross center ice. Dylan Fitz crosses center. He'll dump it in. Big time hit as Grizzlies were skating into the offensive zone. It was actually the Rooster, Jordan Martell. Puck over the near side. Martell battles. He gets it back to the corner. Now Martell skates towards the corner to join the play. He'll throw it back over to Thomas, over to Tho. One-timer's blocked. Tho gets it back at center ice. Now the Steelheads take it away from Tho. Left circle. Idaho looks to center it. Utah picks it off. And I think that was Martell. Now to the high slot. Idaho nudges to the near side as Justin Misiak, right wing shot goes wide. Puck glides towards the left point. Idaho keeps it in as they feed it to the corner. As Utah battles 2-on-1. Grizz come out of the pile with the puck and they'll feed it over to the right corner and chase after it. Grizz get it. They'll move it ahead and out goes to the right point as Becker with a shot that's blocked. Now Becker over into Steelheads territory will feed it across. Idaho will get it taken away at neutral ice. Grizzlies will move it ahead over to the right wing. Grizz have it. Now they get to Michalchuk, who's driving towards the net. Michalchuk gets thrown over to the near corner. He loses the puck. As Idaho, less than 6 minutes left in the second period, still lead 3-1. Over to the near boards as Idaho gets hit hard in a big-time trip, and that is Casey Johnson. That is deliberate. As he tripped up Utah in the near corner, that's a slash and then some. And Utah got tripped up, and who was it that got tripped? That was deliberate by Casey Johnson. The league's got to take a look at that. As Colin Lee, the Grizzlies trainer, is running out on the ice to check on an injured player, and that has got to be a suspension. As Casey Johnson was battling in the corner, Utah was skating away from him, and that's Michalchuk. And Casey Johnson just took a stick and whacked Michalchuk across the leg. And the Grizzlies went after Casey Johnson. Here's a replay they're showing on Flow Sports. Johnson delivered a hit, and then Johnson with a deliberate slash to the back of Michalchuk's leg. And then Johnson pushed Michalchuk as he was laying on the ice. Cameron Wright went over to confront Johnson. Johnson's going to get a penalty. Michalchuk back to his feet, but he's back slowly. Grizzlies only going with 10 forwards tonight and 7 defensemen. And that's got to be at least a fine, maybe a suspension. That's about as deliberate a slash as you can get to the back of a player's knee. And obviously it's dangerous. You think about Michalchuk skating to the bench slowly. And was there even a call made on that play? 3-1 Steelheads, 5:28 left in the second period. So Michalchuk, he gets to the bench. He's sitting on the bench, so it looks like he might be okay. As looks like there's a timeout on the ice. Andrew Nelson is still sitting in the penalty box. Let's see if the box score's got any update on there. Did they call a penalty on Casey Johnson? Yes, the Grizzlies are going to get a power play, and believe it or not, it's a 5-minute major. That's what it looks like, 5-minute power play for the Grizzlies, and it should be. It definitely should be. As the referee talking with Everett Sheen, Sheen's not arguing the case because he probably saw the play and knows that yeah, something should be called there. And so he's not arguing much. Nielsen got a misconduct, 10:43 into the second period. It's kind of interesting. They put him in the penalty box, even though it looks like the misconduct was in the second half of the second period. So it looks like Casey Johnson, a deliberate slash to the back of Michalchuk's leg, gets, I believe, a 5-minute major. Grizzlies are on the power play. Idaho leads 3-1. Utah wins the faceoff as the Grizz throw it over to the right side. Now back up top to Pfizer, as Pfizer will switch places with Aaron Tho. Pfizer over to Tho. One-timer, kick saved by Shield. Rebound, Grizzlies take a shot, and they score! Cameron Wright has scored to cut into the Idaho lead, and now there's a fight after the goal was scored, as looked like Martell was in the area. Cameron Wright lost his helmet, and the linesmen break it up as the Grizzlies get on the board, as they've scored a shorthanded tally in the first period, and Cameron Wright on the power play here in the second. As Wright from the left wing took a shot, it got past Shield. The goal light went off, and then after the whistle, Casey it looked like Heiskanen, it looked like everybody was kind of battling with somebody there. Register, AJ White, Aaron Tho with the one-timer from the right side that bounced off his Shield, and then Wright was able to get the rebound and put it away. And because it is a major penalty, the Grizzlies will stay on the power play. It's 3-2 Steelheads. Now Wright is in the penalty box. So Wright is in the box for Utah. Let's see if anybody's in there for Idaho. Nielsen's in there serving a 10-minute misconduct. And looks like Wright's going to get he does have his helmet. It's not on now. And so let's see if that temporarily halts Utah's power play. The question is, why would Wright be the only one to get a penalty there? What did Wright do? Now Wright exits the penalty box, and the referee is pointing towards the bench for Cameron Wright. So it looks like the referee said the bench is that way. So Cameron Wright skates off the ice, and it looks like Trent Miner opens the door. And so Cameron Wright now talking with Kanasowicz. Mason Whalen claps his hands. This is unreal. Cameron Wright's going to the locker room. He must have had a few words towards the referee, who's had an interesting night. So Wright looks like he's going to walk off the ice. Grizzlies still have 5 out there, and Idaho looks like they're still shorthanded. So the Grizzlies stay on the power play. I mean, Nielsen got a misconduct, and it looks like Cameron Wright, I'm guessing, got one as well. So the Grizzlies won the draw. They're still on the power play, as there's about 5 minutes left in the second period. 3-2 Idaho. It's a major power play. Casey Johnson got it as he slashed Michalchuk across the back of his leg. As Utah spins it over to the right side, Idaho cuts it off and clears it out. As Utah chasing after it. Remember, the Grizzlies were without a pretty good power play defenseman in Andrew Nilsson. As the Grizzlies on the near side skate from right to left as they nudge it out to neutral ice. Grizzlies will throw it back into their own zone, as Tyson Pfizer will cross center ice with good speed. He'll gain the line. He'll feed it to the right side, and the Grizz spin it back around as it goes to the near side. Grizzlies will skate towards the point as Martell gets it taken away. Idaho clears it out to center. Colton Keller gets around to A.J. White. Will dump it in. As Metcalf lets it go to the left corner. Utah along the far boards as they'll drop it off. Passes wide as Idaho at neutral ice will bounce it off a Grizzly at center ice, and it goes back to Utah, who crosses center ice, tries to dump it in, and didn't get all the way in as Jade Miller takes it, and he'll get it out to center ice. Utah regathers the puck. Less than 4 minutes left in the second period, 3-2 Idaho, but the Grizzlies are on a major power play. Grizzlies at neutral ice, cross center. Now they get around to skaters. Dakota Raby will skate towards his right. He'll take a lefty shot, saved by Shield. Grizzlies get it back up top to Tho. They'll feed it to the right side. I think that's Bartley. Back to Tho. Tho over to the left circle as the Grizz. Michalchuk centers it. Lefty shot. And it goes wide. And Idaho will clear it out to center. It's regathered by Utah. Utah will get it to center ice as the Grizz cross center. They'll get in as Tho will bounce it off the far boards. Grizzlies to the right side as Tho will skate towards his left. Tho now to the left circle as he'll take a lefty shot. Blocker saved by Shield. Idaho gets the rebound, trying to clear it out. It stays in right point. Grizzlies skate towards their left. Bartley feeds it over to the circle on the far side. Back to Shearer. Over to Bartley. Bartley back to Shearer. Over to Bartley. One-timer. Kick save by Schill. Rebound goes to the near side as the Grizz get it over to Shearer. Back over to Bartley. Now it's the right circle. I think that's Raby. He tries to feed it across to McCallchuck. It bounced off the Steelhead skate. Goes to Shearer. He'll get it back to the right side. One-timer. And it goes wide. Puck glides along the near boards. Bartley will skate towards his right. He's now in the high slot over to the right side. One-timer and hits the post. Grizzlies get the rebound. Shot goes wide. I think that's McCallchuck who's playing hurt. He's not 100%. As Idaho across center ice. 3-on-2. Steelheads gained the line. Becker tries to drop it up, but Idaho had a skater going the other way. Grizz cross center. Now they gain the blue line as they skate over to the right side. Utah spins it towards Raby. He lets it go to the point. Grizzlies off the screen. Feed it across as there's less than 2 minutes left in the major power play. Over to the left side. Drops out for Shearer. One-timer. And he scores! Grizzlies tie it up. James Shearer fired towards the net. And it got past Adam Schill. 2 power play goals and a shorty as Utah's tied it up at 3. And for James Shearer, it's his first goal of the season. Grizzlies threw it over to McCallchuck. Back to Shearer. One-timer. Got past him. Dylan Fitz was net front. But Fitz tells Shearer that he's the one that scored as Fitz thought he had gotten a piece of it, but it looked like he didn't. So Shearer with the one-timer. I did kind of redirect. I don't know if that was Fitz or Shearer, but Shearer was the one to skate to the bench first. And remember, the Grizzlies are still on the power play as it's 1 minute and 40 seconds left in a major penalty that was committed by Casey Johnson. Johnson got a slashing major and a game misconduct for checking from behind. As Cameron Wright got a game misconduct, abuse of officials. So he's in the locker room as the Steelheads win the draw and dump it in. Less than 2 minutes left in the second period and 1:25 left in the Grizzlies power play. We're tied at 3 as the Grizzlies at neutral ice will drop it off. Grizz cross center. Utah to neutral ice. Tho dumps it in. He gets pushed and Idaho clears it back out. Grizzlies in their own zone skating from right to left. 1.5 minutes left in the second period. As Utah with 2 power play goals and a shorthanded tally as Grizz will gain the line over to the right side. Utah spins it towards the corner. Pfizer in the area. It goes past him. Idaho will bounce it off a stick and are able to clear it out. There's a foot race near the Grizzlies zone. Tho cuts in front of Idaho's A.J. White. Tho gets pinned by White and gets hit up high. No call as the Grizzlies still in their own zone. Feed it over to the left side. Now the Grizz cross center. Utah veers off to the right as they step over the blue line. Grizz trying to get it across to McCallchuck. Idaho picks it off and clears it out. Puck goes to Metcalf, who stops it in the crease. And he'll move it back towards Shearer, who got his first goal of the season, as Shearer will feed it to the far side. Grizz cross center. Utah gets around Nick Canati, but too many Idaho bodies. It pokes towards McCallchuck. He'll drop it off in the right point. Utah gets it across to Bartley. Bartley back to Tho, faked a one-timer, gathers it, and he'll feed the right circle. Grizzlies, Raby, he'll take a shot and it goes wide. McCallchuck skates towards the corner. Looks like he's not playing 100% right now. As Raby to the right side, feeds it up top. Grizzlies trying to get it to McCallchuck. Now it goes back to Raby. Shot saved by Schill. Idaho around their own net. Skates towards the near side. We're back to 5-on-5 skating. As Idaho feeds it out to center ice, Becker dumps it in. Grizz chase after as they skate around Metcalf's net. Less than 10 seconds left in the period. Grizzlies moving out to center ice, and from the right wing, they'll chip it into the left corner. Taking it is Idaho's Nick Canati, and that will do it for 40 minutes of play over at Idaho Central Arena. And what an eventful second period it was, as the Grizzlies scored 2 goals on a 5-minute major power play, as Grizzlies got goals from Cameron Wright and James Shearer. But it looks like if we're going to trust the box score, Cameron Wright got a game misconduct for abuse of officials, 14:51 in. Oddly enough, that was about the same time that he had scored his goal. So kind of an interesting sequence. And Casey Johnson got a game misconduct for checking from behind. And I'd be surprised if he ends up playing tomorrow, as the league's going to have to take a second look at that. So much happened in the second period, and we'll try to unpack it all when we come back. Once again, the score after 2 periods, the Utah Grizzlies 3 and the Idaho Steelheads 3 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Welcome back to Grizzlies Hockey. Sickford and Jensen intermission report as we're tied at 3, and really was a crazy second period. Idaho led 2-1 after one period. Patrick Cudlis scored 6:42 into the first. Then less than a minute later, A.J. White scored 7:26 in to make it a 2-0 game. Grizzlies scored shorthanded 16:45, and as Tyler Penner got his 7th of the year. James Shearer with the assist, and it's been a great game for James Shearer. Now, the box score on the ECHL app is not necessarily updated all the way, but we do know that Idaho's A.J. White scored 10:43 into the second period. It's his 10th of the season. Justin Ducharme with the assists. And then you think about some physical play as Owen Hedrick got a holding minor, 8:05 into the second. Now, while the Grizzlies were on that power play, I think it was early in the power. Well, there's about 40 seconds into the power play. Andrew Nelson was skating into the offensive zone, skating around 4 Steelheads. He skated towards the right circle. He got hit with a high stick by Jade Miller. The referee is looking right at the play, and he lets it go. So Idaho then gets the puck, clears the zone, and then, play stopped. We don't know why the play stopped, and then Nilsson couldn't believe it. Nilsson did remain pretty calm through that sequence. He got hit with a high stick, and he was trying to show blood to not only get 2 minutes, but maybe 4 minutes on a power play. If you think about it, it's big because that would have given Utah 5-on-3 power play for over a minute. And so it didn't get called. And then later on in the second period, Michalchuk was battling with Casey Johnson in the corner. And then, Michalchuk was skating away from Johnson. And Johnson just took a stick and slashed Michalchuk right along the back of his knee. And Michalchuk went down. Luckily, the official spotted it. Johnson got a slashing major as well as a game misconduct for checking from behind. Now, I got to think that the league's going to have to take an extra look at that. I can't imagine Casey Johnson's going to be playing tomorrow because that's a dangerous play. Michalchuk was slow to get to his feet. The trainer, Colin Lee, had to go out. Now, luckily, we did see Michalchuk back later in the second period. He didn't, looked like once he got up to his feet, he was good to go. And I don't even think he missed a shift. The Grizzlies, while they were on that power play, scored 2 goals in the major power play. Unfortunately, the box score on the ECHL app isn't quite working right now, but it did look like Cameron Wright scored the first of Utah's 2 power play goals in the major, with Michalchuk actually getting the assists. And then it seemed like, it was like, I think Tho took the shot. I couldn't really tell. It must have been Michalchuk, but shot was taken from the right side. It bounced off a shield. There's so many bodies out in front of the net, but Cameron Wright was able to get it and score over the left shoulder of Adam Shield. And then right after that, there was a lot of action, a lot of pushing. Wright lost his helmet, and then it looked like Cameron Wright went to the penalty box, and then he got a game misconduct, abuse of officials, as it says, 14:51 into the second. Now, obviously, you could tell the box score is wrong because they've given Wright the goal 17:53 into the second. So we're not entirely sure. We'd have to think about when Shearer scored to tie the game, but he scored. Dylan Fitz was net front, but it was a one-timer from the left wing. Shearer scored his first of the year. I think he had 3 goals for the Grizzlies towards the end of the regular season last year. Dylan Fitz was net front. Fitz might have gotten a piece of it. We don't know. It looked like the puck, when they showed the replay, kind of had the puck going at a different angle, like it hit something. But when Shearer and Fitz, went over to congratulate each other after the goal, Shearer was the one that skated to the bench first, kind of indicating that he was the one that scored. So that tied the game up at 3. So 2 power play goals on the major, and that's really where we stand now. It's anybody's hockey game. It looks like they finally updated things a little bit. Looks like Michalczyk's got an assist on both of the Grizzlies' major power play goals, although it looks like the box score is still a mess. So, unfortunately, some of the details will have to be worked on. But, Guy, you think about the turning point in the game. I don't know why Casey Johnson lost his cool like that on Michalczyk, but really you think about Idaho. They had a 3-1 lead at that point, and the Grizzlies get a major power play and score 2 goals to tie the game.
Yeah, Tyson, I can't believe that play from Casey Johnson. I mean, I think he just let all of his anger out because he gets checked by Michalczyk along the near boards, and Michalczyk's skating away because the play is passed, whatever. And then Casey Johnson just comes back and whacks him in the back of the knee. I can't believe that. I can't imagine that he's playing tomorrow. But I mean, if you're Casey Johnson, I understand it's a rivalry game. I understand there's a lot of emotion, and we saw play get pretty physical towards the end of that period. But there's no reason for you to lose your cool like that. That's just unacceptable. There was malicious intent with that. And I think the league, as you mentioned before, is definitely going to have to take a look at that.
Remember in D2 of the Mighty Ducks when they had that, when Gordon Bombay and the Iceland coach, they had that battle, and then Bombay looked like he was going to win, and he said some words to, I'm trying to Wolf the dentist Stanson. And then Stanson just kind of whacked him upside the back of the knee. That's kind of what it was right there. And that's really a turning point in the game because the Grizzlies got on the power play. And what's really been working for the Grizzlies over the last couple weeks has been the power play. They get some open looks and we're able to score 2 goals.
Yeah, I mean, you think about a gift from Casey Johnson to the Grizzlies. It's had 5-minute power play where the Grizzlies can score as many times as they want, and they end up tying this thing at 3. You think about the turning point, and you mentioned before, that is it, really.
Yeah.
And we talked about the Grizzlies special teams coming into this game and how much they would play a factor. Casey Johnson just said, here, take it. And so the Grizzlies took it and they ran away with it, and they used their strengths, and here we are at a 3-3 tie.
There's no way to trust this box score. It looks like things are going nuts here on the ECHL app, but right now they've got Michalczyk listed as having both the assists, or having the assist on both of the power play goals. And you think about it, he was the one that was slow to get up because he took the stick to the back of the leg, didn't miss a shift, and came back in there. I think if you're talking about the best moment of Vladislav Michalczyk's stint with the Grizzlies, it has to be that second period.
Yeah, Tyson, I think that speaks volumes to the type of guy that he is on this team. You think about a guy that ends up getting cut from another team, gets it picked up by the Grizzlies, he's got a lot to prove. And so now he's here trying to make a staple on this team, trying to make an impact. And as you mentioned before, he's done it. You think about getting whacked in the back of the leg, a lot of guys would have just left. And honestly, I wouldn't blame him. That's a tough play to take. But he ends up being a warrior and ends up going back out there and getting 2 more assists. 2 critical plays that really changed this game is now we're at a tie. So Vladislav Michalczyk, hats off to you, sir. You're playing a great game.
We're tied at 3, Grizzlies and the Steelheads. When we come back to the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report in 2 minutes, we'll go over some scores from around the league, and we'll also talk some more hockey as we're tied at 3 on the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Let's do it. everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them, like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Second intermission. We're here at Maverick Center. Guy Chiarenza and Tim Broussard's actually taking photos tonight. Hopefully we can catch up with Tim here more the second half of the season as we're hanging out here having a good time. First of 2 straight over in Boise and the first of 3 straight against the Steelheads. Don't forget the Grizzlies' next home game will be on Monday afternoon, 3:10 face-off. It's going to be sensory-friendly day. And it's also Nickelodeon Day where the Grizzlies are wearing SpongeBob SquarePants-themed jerseys. So that should be a lot of fun. The Grizzlies are actually debuting some jerseys tonight, which is a navy blue top with white on the shoulders, white lettering, white trim, and kind of a burgundy Colorado Avalanche type of red numbers in the back of the jerseys. Unfortunately, they're a little bit tougher to spot, but they are a good-looking jersey. I think you can actually get that jersey at the Grizzlies team store when you come to the game on Monday for Nickelodeon Day and Sensory-Friendly Day. Other games in the league, it looks like the Grizzlies one is the only one currently in progress. All the other games have gone final. Allen defeats Wichita 4-3. So Allen gets their 13th win of the season. Now the Grizzlies need to come away with 2 standings points to avoid last place in the Mountain Division as Allen gets the victory 4-3 over a pretty good Wichita Thunder team. And that game is played at Intrust Bank Arena. Rapid City defeats Tulsa 3-1, and obviously we'll keep an eye on that series as Rapid City was the Grizzlies' opponent last week. And remember, the Rush are going to be at Maverick Center for a 3-game series, January 25th, 27th, and 28th. Looks like a guy named Parrish scored 2 goals for Rapid City tonight. He must be new to the club as he wasn't on the roster as of last week. Alex Aliardi with his 12th goal of the season for Rapid City as they defeat Tulsa 3-1. The Grizzlies will face Tulsa next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday over at BOK Center. It'll be the first 3 meetings of the season between the Grizzlies and Oilers. They both met in the first round of the 2022 playoffs. The series went 7 games, and Utah won 4-3. Kansas City defeats Iowa 4-2. Cincinnati over Indy 3-1. Fort Wayne defeats Wheeling 2-1. Maine over Norfolk 3-2. It was also a 3-2 final as Greenville defeated Florida in a shootout. And if you joined us late and you didn't catch it during the first intermission, former Grizzly defenseman Miles Gendron signed a contract with the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. He did not play for Greenville tonight, but he was playing in Norway earlier this season. And Gendron, who wore an A on his sweater last year for the Grizzlies, wearing number 15, he's now a member of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. In overtime, South Carolina defeats Savannah 4-3. Orlando over Trois-Rivières 4-1. Reading defeats Adirondack 5-1. Toledo defeats Kalamazoo 4-2. Atlanta over Jacksonville 5-3. And in overtime, Newfoundland defeats Worcester 4-3. 3 games in the NHL tonight. One of them has gone final as Winnipeg defeats Pittsburgh 4-1. First intermission in a rematch of the 2003 Stanley Cup Finals. The Devils lead the Ducks 3-0. 7 minutes left in the first period. Edmonton leads San Jose 1-0. Connor McDavid has the Edmonton goal. If you're playing fantasy hockey, that's good for you. And it's probably good for you that if you have Connor McDavid on your team. He's about as good a hockey player as you'll see, as he's just amazing with his ability of quickness. And, well, just Connor McDavid's about as good as it gets. 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter in the NBA. The Jazz lead the Magic 93-85 as the Jazz are 21-23 this season. Orlando has a record of 16-26. When we come back, we will start third period action, and we'll also talk with Guy Chiarenza and get his thoughts as to what the keys of the game are going to be for the Grizzlies if they want to come away with 2 standings points. This has been the Siegfried and Jensen intermission report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Now we're about set to start third period action over at Idaho Central Arena as the Grizzlies really had a pretty good second period. They scored 2 power play goals on a major power play as Casey Johnson got a slashing major and a game misconduct, 14-32 in. Cameron Wright scored, I believe, 14-51 in, and then later on in the second period, James Shearer found the back of the net for the first time this season. Unfortunately, the app that we're looking at the stats in isn't really working right now, but the Grizzlies, in terms of shots, it looks like Utah has a 19-18 edge as they outshot the Steelheads 12-9 in the second period. We'll skate 5-on-5 to start the second. Looks like Cameron Wright got a game misconduct, abuse of officials, 14-51 into the second. So it looks like Wright is out of the game if we trust the box score. And look, Casey Johnson, obviously game misconduct, and it's possible the league will take a second look at that, and he'll probably miss some time for the Steelheads. So it's anybody's game as we're tied at 3. And for the Grizzlies, you think about having some success in Idaho this season. You know, the Steelheads are 13-2 at home this year, but remember, both of those losses came to the hands of the Grizzlies. Garrett Metcalf is hanging in there, and we'll see what he'll do in the third period. He's got a record of 6-1 on the season. So it looks like we're about set to start the third period. Idaho wins the draw. So ricocheted off the near boards. Idaho skating from right to left as we see it on Flow Sports. Your mind's eye see it on Mixler. Utah, or make that YouTube as the Grizzlies skating from left to right as the Grizz will carry it out to their blue line. Now they'll exit the screen as it goes back to the near side for McDonald. They'll feed it across. Utah gains the line as they skate towards the left circle. Utah avoids a check. They'll throw it over to the left point. Grizz push it back to the corner on the far side. Idaho gets the puck, and they'll spin it across to Patrick Kudla. As he'll ricochet it to the near side for Kawaguchi. Back over to A.J. White. He'll feed it to the right wing. Idaho crosses center and dumps it in. As they roll it to Kawaguchi in the near side, he'll throw it back towards Utah's net and behind it. As Idaho battles one-on-one, they'll win the battles. They'll skate towards the far side as Kawaguchi look to center it to Hedrick. They'll actually ricochet it off the far boards. Grizzlies will clear it out. Register chases after it. Both teams make a line change. 1 minute into the third period, we're tied at 3. As Register gains center ice and dumps it in. Puck rolls around to the near corner as Utah holds on as 2-on-2. Idaho will spin it back the other way. Thus, Justin Ducharme spins it, and it goes back to neutral ice. Idaho gets the puck. Cedric across to Kudla. He'll get it out to center ice for Domowski, who steps over the line, right wing. Idaho rolls it back towards Domowski, and Utah gets tripped up behind the net. Idaho feeds it to the left circle. Ducharme shot, saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes out to the far side as Hedrick gets knocked down. No call on the play as Utah will toss it back to neutral ice. Grizz move it ahead, and Utah carries into the zone. Utah look to feed it to the right side. Idaho picks it off and clears it out to the Utah blue line. Taking it is James Shearer, and he'll nudge it ahead to center ice. Grizzlies step over the line as left point. Grizzlies will toss it towards Adam Schill as it rolls around the boards. Now it's taken back by Idaho as it lifted off the glass, and it goes over the head of Aaron Tho. Bouncing puck to the near side. Tho gets it, and he'll nudge it ahead as the Grizzlies will dish it out to the center ice logo. Idaho gets it and dumps it back in as Utah chases after it behind Metcalf's net as Idaho holds up Utah and Corey Thomas. Puck squirts towards the right side. Idaho feeds it up top. Righty shot. Saved by Metcalf. Rebound, wraparound shot. Saved by Metcalf. Another shot. Saved by Metcalf again. And the Grizzlies get the rebound as they'll skate towards the far side. As Idaho battles just outside the right circle, they nudge it towards the net and it goes wide. As Utah will ricochet it off the near boards, taken back by Idaho. Left side as the Steelheads in the circle will fire a backhand shot. Saved by Metcalf. And Garrett holds on. 17-16 left in the third. And just as all goaltenders do, it looks like as the game has progressed, Garrett Metcalf is playing his best. Wow, looks like a penalty's been called. As looks like the referee spotted something wrong. Boy, that wraparound shot taken by Neerum, and Metcalf made an outstanding save as he kind of glided towards his right to cut off the shooting angle from Neerum. That looked like after the whistle, a penalty was called, and I'm not sure who it was on, but it looks like Metcalf's arguing his case with the referee, and looks like it's a sellout over at Idaho Central Arena. A penalty was on the Grizzlies. 5,222, 52-22 the crowd. As Idaho's on the power play, 17-16 left in the third. Not sure who got the penalty. Kind of looked like an unsportsmanlike conduct foul, according to the signal I saw from the referee. As looks like we get a whistle early in the power play, 9 seconds into the power play. Willie Neerum in the area, and looks like we'll do the draw again in the Steelhead zone, or in the Grizzlies zone. As 9 seconds into the power play, draw is going to be in the right circle. As Penner will take it for Utah against A.J. White. Penner playing in his 104th consecutive game for the Grizzlies, dating back to the start of last season. Idaho wins the draw. Register in the high slot, gets to the right side, and now back to Register. He'll take a lefty shot, and it gets blocked, and it goes to the far corner. Kawaguchi gets it back up top for Register. He'll skate towards his left. Register over towards Franklin. Franklin feeds the far goal line. Now back to Franklin. But Franklin had the pass wide of him, and he'll have to skate to neutral ice to get it. Now he throws it across to Register. Grizzlies make a line change. Idaho resets as they cross center ice. Franklin steps over the line, right wing, and he'll roll it around the boards. A.J. White in the near corner battles with two Grizzlies. Utah hacking away as the Grizz. Kawaguchi over there for Idaho. He'll get the puck and he'll spin it back to the right side for Franklin. Back to White behind Utah's net as we're tied at 3. Now to Kawaguchi on the left side. He'll get it up top to Register. He'll feed it to the right side for Franklin. Righty shot is wide. Now off the boards, Utah gets it and clears it out to center. Register gets it at the center red line. He'll peel back into his own zone. So Idaho makes a line change. Kawaguchi gets the puck. Colton Keller out there for Idaho. About 40 seconds left in Idaho's power play. 4 minutes into the third. We're tied at 3. As Kawaguchi crosses center ice, he'll get around to Grizzlies. He steps over the line. Left point, feeds it to the middle for Keller, who mishandled it. Grizzlies will nudge it ahead. 2-on-1. Utah already has a shorthanded goal tonight. Visor look to center it, and the puck and still has to get a stick in the way. Utah skates down the middle. Shot is blocked. Pass to Kawaguchi, bounces off of him. Now taking it, the left wing. Shot goes wide. That was Domowski, and rolls back to neutral ice. 10 seconds left in Idaho's power play. Domowski steps over the line again. He looks to feather it out in front. Big collision. The net gets dislodged, and the whistle blows. 5 seconds left in the Idaho power play. We're still tied at 3 with 15-20 left in the third. So Domowski looked to center it, and good defensive play by Corey Thomas, as it looked like Hedrick was cutting towards the net. The penalty that Utah got, Aaron Tho, 2 minutes for slashing, 2:44 into the third period, and that's the one the Grizzlies are killing off right now. Draws in the left circle. and it's won by Idaho. As Patrick Cutler's got a goal tonight, we'll get over to the right side. Righty shot and it goes wide. Power plays over as Tho is out of the box. He'll join the play. As it neutralized, Hedrick tries to dump it in. It bounced off a Grizzly who gathers the puck. They'll feed it ahead to the Idaho blue line. Big collision. Utah skates in, but they're offside. 15:04 left in the third. We're tied at 3. This play, it's kind of been physical throughout. You talk about Mountain Division rivals, and for the Grizzlies, they want to win their fair share against Idaho. After all, it's a team that they will meet 18 times during the regular season. It's the 13th of 18 meetings. And you think about when the 3-game series is over, the 2 in Idaho and then Monday at Maverick Center, the Grizzlies will play to Idaho in 44% of their games. That's 15 of the first 34 games this season. Idaho wins the draw at neutral ice. They'll dump it in as Metcalf behind his net will play it, and they'll spin it over to the far side. Grizz have it as Utah will carry it out to neutral ice. They'll nudge it from blue line to blue line. Idaho gets it. They'll toss it to center ice, and skating in is Ducharme. He'll dump it in. Domowski chases after it. Metcalf will feed it to the far side. He loses his balance, but gets back to his feet. As Idaho at neutral ice, Kanadi will move it to the right wing. Idaho skates towards the right circle. Shot saved by Metcalf. And the puck goes out towards the left wing as Becker spins it around. Idaho around the net. They're now on the right side. So they'll spin it back to the near side for Kanadi. He'll skate towards the near goal line. Now around the net. Kanadi tries to feed it to Becker out in front. Grizzlies get a stick in the way. Puck at the blue line. Idaho keeps it in. As Murphy around the net. He skates towards the right side. He reverses his field. Murphy out towards Ducharme. Shot saved by Metcalf. Now Murphy left wing shot saved by Metcalf. Grizzlies doing a great job boxing Idaho out. Puck still in play. Mikalchuk moves it ahead, but Idaho gets the puck. As the Steelheads right wing step over the line again. They skate towards the circle. Righty shot saved by Metcalf. And Garrett holds on. 13:52 left in the third. We're tied at 3 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Well, somebody called the fire department. We got a barn burner going on at Idaho Central Arena. We're tied at 3, and the Grizzlies are looking good. And this is the type of thing where Garrett Metcalf, with the type of saves he's made, has really done a good job keeping the Grizzlies in this game.
Yeah, Tyson. I mean, Garrett Metcalf is having himself a game, and you mentioned keeping the Grizzlies in the game. That's exactly what he's done all the way back in the first period up until now.
Faceoff's going to be in the far circle of the Grizzlies zone as Idaho has taken the first 5 shots of this third period. Cameron Wright is out with a game misconduct. And actually, it looks like they've now just changed it to a misconduct instead of a game misconduct. As Utah wins the draw and they'll lift it out to neutral ice. Looked like Andrew Nelson got another misconduct as the puck was played with a high stick at neutral ice. And the faceoff's going to be, I think, at center. 13:44 left in the third, tied at 3. The Grizzlies are debuting new jerseys tonight. It's kind of a Colorado Avalanche-themed jersey. Utah horizontally across from left to right in red. The letters are red with white trim, and that's the same with the numbers on the back of the jersey. White lettering as Idaho wins the draw. And their specialty jerseys tonight. They spin it along the boards, and the puck kind of glides slowly as it just goes to the right corner. Idaho gets pushed as the Steelheads battle as they skate towards the right circle. Centering pass goes wide of A.J. White. He'll nudge it back up top for Register. He'll kick it off a Pfizer stick. Pfizer chases after it, but Idaho gets it as they're in their own zone. Now the whistle blows. 13:20 left in the third. And Owen Hedrick was able to skate over there as the puck bounced off of Pfizer. And not sure why the whistle blew there, unless there was a penalty that was called. As Hedrick gives the puck to the linesman. As looks like the faceoff's going to be in the Steelhead zone. power play, really the special teams have been what's kept the Grizzlies in this game. 2 second-period power play goals. In Utah's first period goal was a shorthanded tally. And it does look like the Grizzlies are going to be on the power play. As Jade Miller is in the penalty box right now. 2 Grizzlies are in the box, and it's Wright and Nilsson. Both guys, actually it's McDonald and Nilsson. As Utah is on the power play, I think both McDonald and Nilsson are serving misconduct penalties. And right now the Grizzlies, looks like we're skating 4-on-4. McDonald, it looks like McDonald and Miller got matching minors as we're skating 4-on-4. Idaho wins the draw. Kudla will nudge it ahead. There's action deep in the Steelhead zone. They skate from right to left. Kudla has he skates to the near side. Now he feeds it across to Hedrick. Hedrick, who's one of Idaho's best defensemen, will skate across center ice. He'll feed it to the left side for Kudla. He'll dump it to the right corner. Kawaguchi chases after it. He gets it. Tried to nudge it across to Domowski. Now Domowski gets it in the right circle, and he battles with Utah. Grizz come out with the puck. Utah at center ice gets it. They cross center. They'll dump it towards the high slot. Grizzlies skate towards the left circle. Backhand shot. Saved by Shield. And Utah around the net as it goes to the far side. Idaho gets it. As we're skating 4-on-4 for the next minute 15. As Idaho with it, both teams change up skaters. As Idaho across center ice, Grizzlies back defensively. Right wing Idaho enters. They look to center and it bounced off the stick and goes to the side of the net. Idaho behind the net will spin it towards the near side. As Kanadi trying to keep it in, he battles with Raby, who bounces off the near boards. Now goes back to Utah as Cameron Wright skates in. Right wing shot. Saved by Shield. And the puck goes to Idaho as Kanadi skates around the net. Now I'll feed it to Domowski on the far side. He'll cross center ice 2-on-3. Domowski skates towards his left. He'll stop in the point. He'll move it ahead towards Register, who will bounce it off the end wall. Grizzlies get it. As I think that's Cameron Wright, who skates around the net. He gets pushed to the net. The net gets dislodged. Domowski and Wright collide. As now Wright is on his keister. He gets back to his feet. The whistle blows. 29 seconds left in the 4-on-4. 11:48 left in the third. Domowski a little bit puzzled, but doesn't look like he's going to, well, is he skating to the penalty box? He's yelling at the referee. Domowski is going to get a penalty. As both teams have had some words with the referee tonight, as looked like Wright skated around the net and Domowski kind of pushed him into the net to dislodge it. And Domowski is going to get a penalty. He can't believe it. So the Grizzlies are going to be on the power play. It's a 4-on-3 power play for 29 seconds. And then I believe Miller and McDonald are each going to come out of the box in 29 seconds. And then the Grizzlies would have a 5-on-4 power play. Jamison will take the face-off for Utah. It's won by the Grizz. Though will drop it back up for Wright in the right point. He'll feed it across to Pfizer. Pfizer in the high slot gets it to Tho. Tho will feed it to the near goal line for Jamison. He'll roll it back to the near side for Tho near the boards. 12 seconds left in the 4-on-3. Tho will get it to the left side for Wright. Back across to Pfizer. Right side will take a shot. Saved by Shield. As Grizzlies battle out in front, but it looked like Shield was able to make a clean save. As the Grizzlies really worked the puck around to isolate Pfizer on the right side, and they were able to get it to him. He skated towards the circle, took a shot, and Shield was able to make the save. As it looked like Pfizer with a low liner was hoping that Keaton Jamison would redirect it over the shoulder of Adam Shield. Draw in the right circle is won by Idaho, as the Steelheads will clear it out. So out of the box is Miller and McDonald. And so it's going to be a 5-on-4 power play for Utah for the next minute 25. Grizzlies skate into the left side. They'll stop after gaining the line. So throw it back up top. Idaho takes it away. Steelheads cross center ice 1-on-2. They'll gain the offensive lines. They skate towards the right corner. Steelheads get blasted in the far corner. Utah skates over there. They get the puck. Utah skates from left to right. About minute 5 left in the power plays. The Grizz will skate in. They'll nudge it over to the right side. The Rooster takes a shot. He scores! Grizzlies take the lead as Jordan Martell gets his second of the year, and that's the third power play goal for Utah tonight. Martell high fives everybody on the Grizzlies bench as he gets his second goal of the season. Martell now salutes Garrett Metcalf as the Grizzlies take a 4-3 lead, and what a battle it's been. And for the Grizzlies, how about this power play tonight? 3 power play goals and a shorty as the Grizzlies really did a good job gaining the offensive zone with some momentum. And think about, Idaho had a guy trailing the play. Martell skated to the right circle and just fed it across, just fed it past Adam Scheel. And it was one of those, he went glove side on Scheel, and Martell gets his second of the season. So Utah leads 4-3. We're back to 5-on-5 skating, 10:43 and counting left in the third. As the Grizz, Pfizer crosses center ice. He'll nudge it to the right side for Penner, who chases after it in the corner. Penner looks for a shot. It glanced off the stick of Kudla and flies out of play. 10:32 left in the third period. It's the Grizzlies 4 and the Steelheads 3. And, Guy, how about Jordan Martell? The Grizzlies got some momentum on the right side, and we talked about Martell and his goal-scoring potential. There he is, getting one there to give the Grizzlies a lead.
Yeah, Tyson, you talked about him in the pregame. He's a guy that can potentially give the Grizzlies a spark. Well, there he is, jump-starting the machine and giving the Grizzlies a 4-3 lead.
Draw's going to be the right circle. I think that's Keaton Jamison taking it for Utah. This time it's won by Idaho as they skate towards the right corner. Grizzlies get it. Right side, they'll throw it towards the net. Fitz with a shot, saved by Scheel. Idaho skates around the net as they'll get it out to center ice. Now the Steelheads have a 2-on-1. They skate to the right side. Centering pass shot, and it goes wide. The shot goes wide as Idaho to the left point will carry it out of the zone. It's Justin Ducharme will nudge it to the center ice logo. Idaho re-enters. Owen Hedrick will skate towards his right. He'll feed it to the right circle. Now back towards Ducharme. Grizzlies poke it away. As Grizz carry the puck across center ice, Dylan Fitz with a shot saved by Scheel as Fitz was just dumping it in at the end of his shift. Halfway through the third period, Utah leads 4-3. As Kudla along the near side, still in his own zone, will throw it back to Hedrick. Now Kudla near the Idaho bench. Will throw a blue line to blue line pass. It goes past Willie Nearham. Grizzlies get it. I think that's Martell. Skates behind the net now. Throw it to the right side for McCallchuck. Pass to center ice connects. Grizzlies dump it in. Utah chases after it as big time hit behind Idaho's net. Utah hacking away 2-on-2 behind Idaho's net as Martell over there. And it looks like Cam Strong as well. Idaho comes out of the pile with the puck as Becker feeds it out to center ice and the Steelheads dump it in. Utah chases after it as Becker delivers a hit. It goes towards Register, skates towards the near corner. Register trying to feed it back to the other corner and fanned on it. Utah gets it as McCallchuck to neutral ice. Will move it ahead. Grizzlies make a line change. Idaho comes back the other way. Right side, Idaho to the circle, takes a righty shot. Saved by Metcalf. Puck glides along the near boards. And puck ends up towards the end wall. Utah chases after it. They get the puck. They skate around Metcalf to the far side. Utah will nudge it ahead. Idaho takes it away. As now the Grizz will carry it across center ice. Both teams have taken 24 shots tonight. Grizz out towards the far corner. Get it poked away by Register. Kudla in the area as Hedrick drags down a Grizzly in the corner. No call. Pfizer skates over there. Penner looking nearby as 2-on-2. Grizzlies. Pfizer over there. So is Raby. Raby gets over to Pfizer. He's in the left side. Grizz feed it up top. Lefty shot. Saved by Scheel. And he holds on. That shot was taken by Corey Thomas. 8:17 left in the third. Martell gives Utah 4-3 lead with Pfizer and Jamison getting the assists on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Utah leads 4-3. They are 3 for 3 on the power play tonight and 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. Jordan Martell has the deciding goal right now as he scored 9-11 into the third with Pfizer and Jamison getting the assists. As action in the Steelhead zone as we're back to live play. Grizzlies skate around the net and looks like Scheel's covered up. As didn't get to see much there. And if you're tuning in on YouTube, we're kind of at the mercy of what we see on Flow Sports, and sometimes we miss some details. But the Grizzlies lead 4-3, and we've had some fun tonight, and it's been a really entertaining hockey game. And for the Grizzlies, they had a pretty good offensive series against Rapid City in the 3 games, going 1-1-1 overall. But the Grizzlies look like they're on all cylinders offensively. As Utah wins the draw, McDonald right wing shot goes wide. Shots are pretty close to even tonight, as both teams have taken 24. Grizzlies left wing shot is blocked as Idaho crosses center ice. Steelheads gained the line. They feed it down the middle. Idaho gets to the left circle. Murphy shot. And they thought he scored, but it looked like it goes wide. The goal light started to go off. The Steelheads started to celebrate, but no goals. Idaho skates the right side to the circle. They tried to feed it out in front. It kicks off a skate and goes out to center ice. Hedrick chases after it. He gets at the Idaho blue line. He'll feed a right wing pass. Idaho re-enters. Right wing shot goes wide. Bouncing puck in the left circle. Domowski has a kick off his stick. It goes back to Utah as the Grizz to the far side get the puck. As Utah crosses center, and they'll chip it ahead. Utah chasing after it. Idaho gets to the goal line and around their net. As the Steelhead skate from right to left. As puck pokes back towards the near circle, Domowski around his net. He avoids a check, and he'll nudge it ahead. Grizzlies cut it off. Left point. Shot goes wide. Grizzlies back towards the far side as the referee looks on as Utah trying to throw it up top, and they do. Now to the right side. Shot is blocked. That was taken by Nielsen, who's back after a 10-minute misconduct. Idaho carries it over the line. Heiskanen feeds it to the right side. Lefty shot by Domowski, save. Now rebound shot right side. Metcalf saves that one and holds on with 6:45 left in the third. So Garrett Metcalf really has stepped his game up here in the third period. And Guy Chiarenza, I think that you're talking about a guy that's 6-1 for a reason this year. He makes the big saves when he needs to.
Yeah, Tyson, he really does. And again, I think back to that sequence in the first period where this was a 2-0 game for Idaho's favor. They could have easily scored, but Metcalf denied it and said, no. We're going to keep this a 2-0 game. And eventually became 2-1, and now here we are, 4-3 game.
Steelheads have the puck in their own zone as Owen Hedrick on the near side will feed it across Idaho, crosses center, and dumps it in. 6.5 minutes left in regulation. Utah leads 4-3 with 3 power play goals and a shorty. As Utah to the far side, it kicks to the right circle. Idaho gets up top for Hedrick. He'll skate to his left. He'll fake a shot. Now bounce it to Keller in the right wing. He'll take a shot that goes wide. Now Kudla over to Hedrick, left circle, righty shot, and it kicks off a Grizzlies skate and goes out to the right corner. Idaho chases after it as the Steelheads skate back towards the right point as Idaho will feed it around the boards. Now behind Utah's net, Idaho cuts it off. Shot saved by Metcalf. Rebound, Grizzlies throw it to the corner, and play is stopped. 6:04 left in the third as Colton Keller was looking for something out in front of the net. Looks like a penalty is going to be called on. I think it's going to be on the Grizzlies. Looks like Idaho's going to be on a power play as there's some action out in front, and it looks like Connor McDonald is in the box. As Idaho whipped it around the boards, it was cut off, and then Keller got cut off in front by Penner, who made a great defensive play, but the referee spotted something that was illegal. So Idaho's on the power play for 2 minutes as there's 6:04 left in regulation. Utah leads 4-3 as the Grizz penalty kill has been strong as of late, and they need to be strong here again. Draw in the near circle is won by Idaho as Kudla will get it towards the right side, and a lefty shot goes wide off the end wall. Grizzlies clear it out. As Kudla has the puck, he's quarterbacking this power play, skates to neutral ice. He crosses center. Kudla right wing will drop it off as Idaho enters the zone. They'll dump it around the boards. It's cut off behind Utah's net. As Utah battles, they'll nudge it to the near corner. Idaho gets up top to Keller. He winds and fires, and it's blocked. Puck goes to the right side. Idaho gets it back. Kudla over to the left. Now he gets up top for Hedrick. Now to the right side. Domowski faked a shot, tried to gather it, couldn't. Utah in the far corner throws it from one side to the other. Idaho tries to chip it out in front as Idaho, right circle, wide open. Hedrick shot blocked, and the puck goes to center ice. Grizzlies chase after it. Utah gets it as Kudla battles. Kudla with a one-on-one battle takes the puck away from Utah. They gain neutral ice. They'll feed it to center for Kawaguchi. He'll skate towards the left circle, take a lefty shot. Saved by Metcalf. Boy, what a stop by Garrett. 5:03 left in the third. 59 seconds left in Idaho's power play. Great look by Kawaguchi in the left side, but Metcalf made the save and didn't allow a rebound. That's been one of the impressive things about Metcalf tonight. Outside of the goal that A.J. White scored on a rebound in the first period, Metcalf has not given Idaho many second chances here tonight. Draws in the near circle. Halfway through Idaho's power play, Idaho wins the draw. Register gets it across to Keller, back to Register, now to Kawaguchi left side. He'll get to the near goal line, but the Grizzlies get a stick in the way, and the puck flies out of play. 4:54 left in the third, 50 seconds left in the power play. Draw's going to be in the left circle. And the Grizzlies, you talk about their penalty kill. Really, it's the last 4 games coming into play tonight where the Grizzlies' penalty kill is 15 for 16. And remember, the only power play goal in that stretch was a 5-on-3 goal last Saturday against Rapid City. And that was a 2-minute 5-on-3, and the Grizzlies really didn't do a bad job on that penalty kill as well. So Idaho wins the draw. They lose the puck in the near side. Grizzlies will carry it out to center. Pfizer crosses center ice now, back it into the Grizzly zone with the puck, and he'll toss it the other way. As deep in the Steelhead zone, Shield will give way to a defenseman. I think that's Matt Register who gets it. Less than 30 seconds left in Idaho's power play. Register will drop it off. Kawaguchi feeds it across right wing. Idaho enters the zone as they'll get it across off the near boards. Register over in the left point has it, and he'll skeet towards his right. As Register fakes a shot and gets to Kawaguchi on the left side, he'll take a lefty shot, and it's blocked. Grizzlies get it and clear it out. Great penalty kill work by the Grizzlies. As Idaho's power play is over right now, and Utah trips up Idaho. Is that going to be another call? Let's see. As Idaho at neutralized, crosses center. Idaho gains the line. Becker over to the right side. It wasn't called. As Becker skates towards the far side, loses the puck. Grizzlies try to clear it out. As Idaho feeds it across from right to left, and it goes out of the zone. Register will get it back to Hedrick as the Grizzlies make a line change. So did the Steelheads. 3:40 and counting left in the third. Idaho left side. Misiak dumps it in. He gets hit by McDonald as Raby over there, as well as Idaho left corner looks to center it. Righty shot, saved by Metcalf. And the rebound goes to Idaho. They're on the right side as they'll spin it back around. As Franklin's in the area, he'll skate towards the near corner. Grizzly will nudge it back up top. Kudla gets it across. Utah takes it away. 3-on-2. Grizz cross center and dump it in. Utah chases after it as the Grizz dump it back towards the right side but couldn't handle it. As Idaho out to neutralize, crosses center. Becker feeds it to the right side. Idaho will skate towards the corner. Hedrick spins it around as Idaho gets it across towards Franklin. He gets it in the left circle. Now top to Hedrick. He'll take a righty shot. Saved by Metcalf. Garrett is on his backside as Idaho with the puck in the corner. Garrett gets back to his feet. 2:45 left in the third as Franklin gets to the right side. Now up top to Hedrick. One-timer, and it's blocked. Grizzlies will carry the puck across center ice. Michalchuk will skate down the middle, take a righty shot. And a save by Shield. Shot might have gone wide. It's tough to tell. As Michalchuk will skate towards the bench. He's got 2 assists tonight. 2:25 and counting left in the third. Idaho crosses center ice right wing. They'll get around a Grizzly skater. Now they dump it off the end boards as Utah will spin it back around the far side. 2:15 left in the third. Grizzlies chase after it, but Idaho gets it deep in their own zone. As a Steelhead skate from right to left as Idaho gets it taken away. Grizzlies will skate towards the left point and spin it around the wall over to the near side, taken back by Michalchuk. He skates to the corner, avoids a check, tries to throw it back the other way. Idaho cuts it off behind their net. Now the Steelheads will carry it out to center ice, and Murphy dumps it around the wall. Less than 2 minutes left in regulation. Utah leads 4-3. White feeds it across the right side. Idaho will bounce it back to White. He's in the left side, skates towards the goal line. White around the net will feed it back to the far corner. Now Hedrick over to Murphy. One-timer, and it's blocked. Lots of blocked shots by the Grizzlies tonight. Register feeds it over the net and still in play to the right corner as Idaho gets pinned to the boards. Idaho's net's empty. 1:25 left in the third. 6-on-5 as Hedrick throws it up top for Register. 1:20 left in regulation. Register to the left side. Gets it across to the right. And now over to Hedrick. One-timer's wide. It stays in play off the glass. As Murphy over to Register. He'll skate towards his right. Register gets over towards the right side as the puck bounces off the end boards. Now Murphy gets it. 1 minute left. Up top for Hedrick. He'll fake a shot. He'll get it to Register. He's in the high slot. Register switches spots as Register now on the right side. He'll fire towards the right corner. Now Idaho gets it to Register. Right side takes a shot. Saved by Metcalf. Rebound goes to Utah. 45 seconds left. Grizzlies towards the near side. Puck along the boards. Idaho in the corner. Kawaguchi skates along the goal line. Now around the net. Drops it off for Keller. 35 seconds left as Idaho gets it up top for Hedrick. Now to Murphy. Shot, and it's blocked. Lots of blocked shots by the Grizzlies in the last 5 minutes. as Idaho along the end wall as they battle Utah. 24 seconds left as Idaho gets up top to Murphy, left wing, throws up top to Hedrick, who fakes a shot. Now Hedrick gets it back from Register. He'll take a wrist shot, and it's blocked again as Register to the right side. Skates in the corner. Now to Hedrick. Shot! And that one gets blocked again. Grizzlies fire towards the empty net. And they score! Grizzlies score! And this baby's in the refrigerator as Utah has taken a 5-3 lead. Boy, what a gutty victory by the Grizzlies, who just blocked one shot after another. And it's the Rooster, Jordan Martell, getting his second of the game. Boy, what an effort by the Grizzlies. I don't know. You'd think about counting the blocked shots in the last 5 minutes. It's unbelievable how many shots the Grizzlies blocked in the last 5 minutes. Martell got the puck and fired it cross ice all the way to the empty net. So the Grizzlies are going to get their third victory in Idaho this season. And you think about Idaho, they'll be 13-3 at home this year. All three losses have come to the hands of the Grizzlies. And 2 seconds left as the Grizzlies fire it towards the Idaho zone, and that will do it. Grizzlies win. Grizzlies won 5-3, and there was no doubt about it as Jordan Martell scored 2 third-period goals, including the game winner halfway through the third period. And how about the Grizzlies power play? You think about 3 power play goals, a shorthanded goal, and they also had an empty net goal. The Grizzlies did not score 5-on-5 tonight, but they come away with a 5-3 victory. And what a job by Garrett Metcalf, who is now 7-1 on the season. Boy, sweet victory indeed for the Grizzlies as everybody patting each other on the back. And what a job well done as the Grizzlies are 2-1-1 in their last 4 games. And the Grizzlies get their 13th victory of the season. For Idaho, their record falls to 27-5-0-1. Final score over at Idaho Central Arena, the Utah Grizzlies 5 and the Idaho Steelheads 3. Post-game show coming up in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. What an effort by the Grizzlies tonight. 5-3 the final score. 3 power play goals, a shorthanded tally, and an empty net goal. As the Grizzlies went 3 for 3 on the power play, and they were a perfect 4 for 4 on the penalty kill. So special teams certainly played a big role. Idaho had 32 shots. Garrett Metcalf stopped 29, and his record goes to 7-1 on the season. So what a job by Garrett Metcalf, and in particular in the third period, as it seemed like of Idaho's 14 shots in the third, there was a lot of grade A opportunities. And you think about the Grizzlies in the last 5 minutes. You know, Idaho had the puck in the offensive zone, it seemed like, for the last minute and a half, exclusively in regulation, and they had the puck in the offensive zone quite a bit in the third period. One block shot after another. The Grizzlies defensive unit doing a great job making sure that Idaho doesn't get any looks on Metcalf, and all those blocked shots and the effort the Grizzlies gave, and really what the Grizzlies dominating the special teams the way they were, that equals 2 standings points and a Grizzlies victory. And how about Jordan Martell? 2 third-period goals. Obviously, the other goal was an empty netter. Let's recap the scoring if we can. Unfortunately, the box score on the ECHL app isn't quite as updated as we'd like. Idaho scored the first 2 goals tonight. You think about it, Idaho had a 2-0 lead, and usually when you give a team that's really had that much success this season, you give them a 2-goal lead. It's usually good night, Irene. But Patrick Kudla gave Idaho a 1-0 lead, 6:42 in, his 6th of the season. Jack Becker and Willie Nearham with the assists. Less than 1 minute later, A.J. White got a rebound on an Owen Hedrick shot. 7:26 into the first, Idaho led 2-0. Grizzlies got on the board shorthanded as James Shearer skated around Idaho's net, centered it to Penner out in front, and Tyler put it away for his 7th of the year. James Shearer picked up his 5th assist of the campaign. The score was 2-1 After 1 minute, after 20 minutes of play, Idaho outshot Utah 9-7 in the first period. In the second period, A.J. White made it a 3-1 game as he scored 10:43 in. Justin Ducharme with the assists. And then some action happened kind of away from the puck. You know, you think about Casey Johnson getting a slashing major and a game misconduct, 14:32 into the second period. Casey Johnson essentially took a stick and slapped it upside the back of Vladislav Mikalchuk's knee. And so Johnson was thrown out of the game with a slashing major and a game misconduct for slashing. And the Grizzlies got a major power play, and they scored twice. Cameron Wright scored 14:51 in as he got a rebound out in front with a lot of traffic. And then James Shearer, later in the second period, scored on a one-timer. And right now the box score is listed Vladislav Mikalchuk as having an assist on both of those goals. And that's notable considering that it was Mikalchuk who ended up getting the stick hit. You know, he was the one that Johnson slashed in the back of the knee. And Mikalchuk ended up with the assist on both of Utah's goals in the second period, at least the way it stands in the box score now. The score was tied at 3 after 2 periods. Utah outshot Idaho 13-9 in the second period. But in the third, Jordan Martell gets what turned out to be the game winner, 9-11 into the third period. It was a power play goal, and it was Utah's third power play goal of the night. Martell gets his second of the year. Taryn Pfizer and Keaton Jamison with the assists. That's Pfizer's 7th assist of the season and Jamison's 6th helper. And then the Grizzlies, you know, you think about the last 2 minutes blocking so many shots. I wish we had an official count on the blocked shots, but it was many blocked shots in the last 5 minutes of regulation and quite a few in the final minute and a half. As Idaho, after they pulled their goaltender, it seemed like they had the puck in the offensive zone for a good minute and a half. But the Grizzlies were able to hold strong, and then the puck ended up in the slot after a blocked shot. That might have even been a Metcalf save. Sometimes tracking shots are tough to do on this video feed. But then Martell got the puck fired towards the empty net and scored his second of the game and third of the season. And that was all she wrote. As the Grizzlies get a 5-3 victory, shots are pretty even tonight. Idaho had 32 shots, the Grizzlies 31. But the difference in the game, the 3-for-3 power play production for the Grizzlies, and Utah was also 4-for-4 on the penalty kill. And you think about Tyler Penner's first period goal, it was shorthanded, and Jordan Martell with an empty net goal at the end. And so what an effort it was for the Grizzlies, and they didn't need to score 5-on-5 tonight because the special teams were that amazing. As we're joined by Guy Chiarenza here in the Grizzlies postgame report. And Guy, what an effort it was for the Grizzlies. They certainly earned the 2 standings points tonight.
Oh, Tyson, you want to talk about the effort. I think you just got to look at that last 5 minutes where the Grizzlies were just blocking shots. I mean, I really wish that blocked shots were a track stat in this league because it would do so much justice for guys like Connor McDonald and James Shearer who don't normally show up on the score sheet, but they do block a lot of shots. And I think at that final sequence of the game where everything is on the line, 4-3 lead, you want to come out of the building with a win, you lay your body on the line. You put everything out there. You sacrifice yourself, and that's what the Grizzlies did to end that game. I love it, and hey, we go home happy.
Well, we go home happy,
but
the Grizzlies go back to the hotel, and you think about tomorrow. You can go for the 2-game sweep in Boise, and then come back here to Maverick Center for the Monday afternoon game, the sensory-friendly day and Nickelodeon day, where the Grizzlies were in SpongeBob SquarePants-themed jerseys. And so I'm thinking about what contributed to the victory, and obviously the special teams were great. I thought Penner played an outstanding game. And Mikalchuk, you think about, I don't know, the box score is probably going to change a little bit as obviously it's a little bit fluky, but you think about Mikalchuk taking that slash to the back of the knee, and I don't think he missed a shift. Came back in there and got a couple assists in the second period. And then Garrett Metcalf, you think about the 14 shots that Idaho had in the third period, they probably had 4 or 5 really good looks. And Metcalf stopped them all, and he earned the victory, his 7th of the season.
Yeah, Tyson. And I think Garrett Metcalf, for me, is just the number one guy that stood out to me in this game. He saved the Grizzlies early on in this game. He really kept them in this game. I talked about it before, where this could have been a 3-0, even a 4-0 game for Idaho in the first period. And Garrett Metcalf made some key saves that kept them in it. And after that, the Grizzlies were able to claw their way back and eventually get back into the game. But without Garrett Metcalf, without Garrett Metcalf, that doesn't happen. And you even go into the second period, he makes some great saves. In the third period, where Idaho's really pushing, trying to tie this thing up, he denies it. He slams the door shut and says, no, not going to happen. So great game from Garrett Metcalf.
Shots are pretty close to even. And I think if you're the Grizzlies, you talk about, the transition game. Idaho really likes to move from end to end quickly and make quick decisions. The Grizzlies' decision-making tonight was a lot more decisive. And I think that's kind of started with the Rapid City series. It seemed like the decision-making from the Grizzlies was a lot more decisive. I'd probably say going on the last 3 games, starting last Friday against Rapid City when they scored 6 goals. It just seems like the Grizzlies, kind of like we saw last season, are just playing with a lot of confidence offensively.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I think early on, you saw guys like Cameron Wright, Taryn Fives that were there were times where they're indecisive with the puck. They'd have a chance to either pass or shoot, and they don't really know what to do. And so they end up just stick handling, and then, they lose the puck. Now we're starting to see these young guys, and this is a young team. We're starting to see these guys become more decisive with what they want to do. And when you do that, you've got better puck movement, which in turn creates better scoring chances. So I like the way that this team is shaping up, and it's all coming together at the right time.
And think about the 2 third-period goals by Jordan Martell. That's a guy that I think has a lot of potential. Somebody that can move from end to end quickly. He seems to be a very smart player who's a good passer, and he's got a pretty good shot. You think about looking for him on the Grizzlies power play, but you also think about, having the ability to go end to end. You talk about a lot of natural talent that Jordan Martell has, and he's certainly been a great addition for the Grizzlies over the last month.
Yeah, Tyson, he's been a fantastic addition. You talk about going end to end. That game-winning goal, the 4th goal, his first goal of the night, that play starts in the Grizzlies' end. In the far corner is a puck battle. Eventually, the Grizzlies win that battle, and they all shift towards the neutral zone, and it's a mad rush. And we see everybody on the left side of the rink, and then along the right side, streaking across, there's Jordan Martell. And eventually, he gets ahead of the defense, and they feed it up to him. He ends up getting the game winner. So a fantastic play by Jordan Martell. And really, I love him on this team.
And for the Grizzlies, you think about tomorrow night, it's going to be an interesting one. And you think about those bumps and bruises. You think about Michalchuk, and you hope that he's able to go. And, you think about some of the defensemen for the Grizzlies. I mean, Andrew Nilsson had 20 minutes worth of penalties, but I thought that at times he played well tonight. And really think about the defenseman that really stands out. It's James Shearer with 1 goal and 1 assist. And I thought he might have played his best game of the season.
Yeah, he was fantastic. And, the goal and assist, that shows up on the score sheet. But again, he's out there blocking shots. And you look to another turning point in this game is the Grizzlies' penalty kill. They were fantastic throughout the course of the game. So just a really well-played game all around by the Grizzlies.
So you think about the power play, 3 for 3 tonight. And that means over the last 4 games, the Grizzlies are 8 for 15 on the power play. That's over 50% in a 4-game stretch. The penalty kill over the last 5 games is 19 for 20. And the only goal that was scored in that stretch was a 5-on-3 goal, and that was a full 2-minute 5-on-3 penalty that the Grizzlies had to kill. So you talk about the special teams, that's really been instrumental for the Grizzlies over the last 4 games where they've got a record of 2-1-1, and you'll start to see the confidence build on this team. And I think that's the thing. It's not only that you beat Idaho, but you kind of beat them in a way where Idaho didn't give you the game, except for, Johnson probably did there with a slashing major. But, you take advantage of that. And really, that's what good teams do. When you get a 5-minute major like that, you got to capitalize on those. Those are game-changing type of moments. And I think it's great that in that 5-minute major power play, the Grizzlies were able to score 2 goals, which is something that good teams do when they get their chances like that.
Yeah, Tyson, you talk about the special teams heating up at the right time. And I think this is a huge win for the Grizzlies overall. They came into Rapid City, ended up winning a few games there. You got a lot of confidence out of that one. Now you come into the barn of the best team in the league, the Idaho Steelheads, and you're able to beat them in regulation. That's just fantastic. Really, that's a best case scenario. This is a season-changing win, I think. There's a lot of momentum to be built upon after this. And honestly, if I'm the Idaho Steelheads, if the Grizzlies are to make a playoff push and end up being that 4th seed and they see Idaho in the first round, if I'm the Steelheads, I don't want to see the Grizzlies. If you're the Steelheads, give them anybody except for the Grizzlies. Why? Because the Grizzlies are the only team in the league that can beat them in their building, and they've done it 3 times.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, even though the Grizzlies are just 3-10 against Idaho, I think that you kind of think, there's nothing you really do about the 2022 calendar year. That thing's over and done with. And you really can't do anything about the tough stretch the Grizzlies have had recently. But really, you think about the last 4 games, and I start to think that once the Grizzlies, when they're not playing Idaho, they've got a record of 10-8-1. So they're a club that I think that, especially if they can win their fair share against Idaho, you're talking about a club that I think could be pretty tough down the stretch in the second half of the season.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Grizzlies got a lot of home games in the second half of the season. We're starting to see this team heat up at the right time. Grizzlies could be a dangerous team going down the stretch, especially when they get guys like Zach Sekos and Johnny Walker back. I feel like this is one of those games where you really miss a guy like Johnny Walker, especially when things get heated like that. I know it's tough to handle your emotions, but I think you'd love to have a guy like Johnny Walker out there kind of setting the tone for the Grizzlies. And on top of that, he's got a great shot. And I think the Grizzlies have been missing that. But overall, these guys came into Idaho and they got it done.
And for the Grizzlies, they scored 5 goals tonight. And when the Grizzlies score 4 or more, they are 9-2 this season. And you think about the goal totals for the Grizzlies over the last 4 games. The Grizzlies have only played 4 games in the 2023 calendar year. And Utah has scored 15 goals in the last 4 games. So you're talking about a Grizzlies team that's really capitalized on a lot of those. And 8 of those 15 have been on the power play. And, the Grizzlies also have a shorthanded goal and an empty net tally mixed in there. And even though the Grizzlies still aren't necessarily generating a ton of offense 5-on-5, you'll ride the power play as long as it continues to stay red hot.
Yeah, you talk about riding the power play. When you're not generating offense 5-on-5, the first thing you look to is the power play. Can you at least score on the power play? And the Grizzlies can. And there's a lot to build upon with that. So, again, I think the Grizzlies could be a dangerous team going down the stretch if they figure out a solution to scoring 5-on-5.
3 stars of the game over at Idaho Central Arena. Number 3 star is Patrick Kudla for Idaho, who scored .642 into the first period. He was a +2 and had 2 shots. Number 2 star is Jordan Martell, who scored 2 third-period goals, including the game winner, 9-11 into the third. And the number 1 star is A.J. White for Idaho, who scored 2 goals. But the pick-to-click champion tonight will be Jordan Martell, although you got to give a lot of credit to Garrett Metcalf for the job that he did. As he is now 7-1 this season. And it really wasn't just, the saves he made in the last 2 periods, but really, I think that you think about it, and I've seen it over the years, that when you have a goaltender that's able to make those key saves, that's able to kind of keep your team in the game in and game out, I think the team plays with a lot of confidence when you got a hot goaltender like Garrett Metcalf. And so the Grizzlies played with confidence tonight, and they're able to win. Now, did anybody pick Martell this evening? That's the question.
I don't see any Martells, but Nadine Hellowell's son picked Metcalf, and he was fantastic. So I guess if there's no Martells, then I guess we send the next best thing is Metcalf, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure somebody on one of the social media platforms, all we're really doing is looking at the Grizzlies live chat on the YouTube channel. Now, it is possible that on another platform, somebody picked Martell. And if you pick Jordan Martell, you're the winner. Now, if you pick Garrett Metcalf, you can also make a case that you're the winner tonight as well, as Garrett was outstanding tonight. And if you think about it, the Grizzlies have 3 really good goaltenders. You think about what Trent Miner did last Saturday, keeping the Grizzlies in the game, stopping 39 of 42. And the Grizzlies also have Lucas Preek. He was not in uniform tonight, but the Grizzlies did get Lucas Preek back this week from the AHL's Colorado Eagles. So you're thinking about the Grizzlies not only have a 1-2 punch in net, they got a 1-2-3 punch in net. And that's really tough for Ryan Kanasowicz to try to figure out who to go with the net every game, because you got 3 guys who are certainly capable.
It's not a bad dilemma to have if you're Ryan Kanasowicz. I mean, you can never have enough elite goaltenders on your team. And for the Grizzlies, they're fortunate enough to have 3.
Well, that'll about wrap things up here from Maverick Center as we're in the lobby, and that's where we'll be again tomorrow evening. 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off. Guy, great victory for the Grizzlies. Any final thoughts?
I think this is a season-changing victory, Tyson. I like the momentum that the Grizzlies built in Rapid City. They built upon it here in Idaho. Watch out for the Grizzlies. They're going to be a dangerous team down the stretch.
The Grizzlies' next home game will be on Monday, January 16th. It's going to be Nickelodeon Day. It's also Sensory-Friendly Day, as the sound will be turned down and the Grizzlies will wear SpongeBob SquarePants-themed jerseys. And it'll be an interesting test on Martin Luther King Day, but the Grizzlies are in Boise tomorrow. Now, remember, just about every game is a sellout as the place only holds about 5,200. So, I bet there are some Grizzlies fans out in Boise tonight, and hopefully there will be some Grizzlies fans over in Boise tomorrow for the second of a 3-game set between these clubs. And then the Grizzlies will be home, as we mentioned, on Monday. Note the start time is going to be at 3 o'clock, a 3:10 face-off between the Grizzlies and the Steelheads. And don't forget the Grizzlies are also home this month against the Rapid City Rush on January 25th, 27th, and 28th. Saturday, January 28th, is going to be the annual Guns N' Hoses night with 2 charity games starting at 1 o'clock, leading up to the Grizzlies game at 7 p.m. Well, Idaho has lost 3 times at home this season, and all 3 times it's been the Grizzlies that have defeated them. And you think about the last 2 games that the Grizzlies won in Idaho, it's been Garrett Metcalf that's gotten the victory. December 3rd, he stopped 44 of 46. And tonight, Garrett Metcalf stops 29 of 32 as he gets the victory for the Grizzlies. Final score, Utah 5 and Idaho 3. As the Grizzlies went 3 for 3 on the power play. They also had a shorthanded goal by Tyler Penner and an empty net goal by Jordan Martell, who scored 2 goals on the night. It was a lot of fun over at Idaho Central Arena, and hopefully you'll join us tomorrow night over in Boise as the Grizzlies take on the Steelheads. 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off. Once again, in 2 hours and 26 minutes, and in front of a sellout crowd of 5,222 over at Idaho Central Arena, the Utah Grizzlies get a game-winning goal from Jordan Martell, 9-11 into the third period, and Garrett Metcalf gets the victory to go to 7-1 on the season. For Guy Chiarenza, I'm Tyson Whiting, and it is what it is.